senior, with Jim McTiernan, a junior on left wing, Chris Lowry, a junior on the right wing. Mike Parkinson, Jeff Lane, the defenseman, Mike Gilla, senior goaltender for the Norwood Mustangs. And, of course, for Winthrop, Joe McDonald, Bob McDonald, Jackie Burke out there. And we're underway. Play is in the Winthrop zone, as it'll be, let's see, starting on defense, Kevin McGee along with Steve Goddard. Winthrop wearing their blue uniforms with white numerals, and Norwood wearing their white jerseys with dark blue numerals and gold trim. And they control the play in the Winthrop zone. And now we're going to have, I guess, let's see here, think about the shoulders call and a face-off out at center ice. Bill Clark and Jim McTiernan, the leading scorers for the Mustangs under Don Wheeler. Actually, in the last game they played against, in the, I guess their first game of the playoffs, each line had 3 goals, so it shows you the balance on this team. Now McGee dumped it in the zone. Billy Palaska, the Winthrop coach, was telling us this afternoon his team was very, very nervous coming in here, and he was more nervous than his youngsters. And Winthrop, the home team here tonight, as now Freddie Tape is out with Paul Plakas. Tape out there, and Danny Brugman. So Tape will be out against now Bob Dalton, a junior, with Greg Sullivan, a junior, and Dave Hassenfuss, a senior. Back on defense, Dave Blazer with Tim Gordon. Now, play back in the Norwood zone, controlled by Glazer up along the wing board. Up ahead to Dalton. Dalton puts it in left wing for Sullivan. A shot off the side of the net. Ramon Diaz, of course, the goaltender for Winthrop. Now it's kept in, a little roller right in by Glazer, in on Diaz. He clears it away. Taken by Danny Brugman of Winthrop. Up along the wing board. He lost it in the zone there to Greg Sullivan. Sullivan, cross-ice pass, intercepted in the zone by Hassenfuss. He lost it in the right wing corner to Crombie, who ties it up, and we're going to face off now to the left of Diaz as we're just underway here. Winthrop and Norwood. And now Steve Goddard comes out on defense, and he will replace Bill Galagli. Bill, who seeing his first action out there in quite a long time. As right now Dalton will take the face-off with Freddie Tape, won by Dalton. And a shot taken by Glazer from the left point, all the way back out center ice, kicked around, now taken by Crombie. Crombie lost it at center ice to Dalton, rolls it in left wing for Greg Sullivan. He lost it, Crombie breaks it up, but Dalton's following the play, tried to center it, dropped it back. Blake is nearly tripped up, got it out of the zone, but stopped there by Tim Gordon. Gordon lost it in the zone as Winthrop forechecking now back in, as Goddard comes off and Galagli back, as they're going to switch off those defensemen. Now play up at center ice, stop there. Galagli going after it, rolls it off the far wing board, tries to put it in, but it's stopped by Gordon. He'll roll it right back in the Winthrop end, taken by Galagli on the near wing up ahead for Joe Giannacco out on the ice. This is part of that third line for Winthrop, which is coming out on the ice right now. Dave Phelan with Tom Shaughnessy and John Fish out for Norwood right now. It is Shaughnessy up along the left point, getting it back to Mike Parkinson. Takes the shot off the side of the net. We got a penalty coming up here. Cleared out. Penalty on Winthrop coming up. Here's the shot through a screen, cleared away by Jeff Lane. Now in the left wing corner, play is tied up, and we're going to get a face-off to the right of Diaz, and a penalty coming up on Winthrop. Oh boy. And who's going off here? It's going to be Brian Crombie going off for Winthrop here at the 2:20 mark for elbowing. So now Norwood with the man advantage. And let's see who they keep out there. They'll keep out Dave Phelan, a senior, with Tom Shaughnessy on left wing, John Fish, a sophomore, on the right side. And the point man, Mike Parkinson and Jeff Lane. Parkinson and Lane, both seniors. An elbow penalty here on Brian Crombie. So Freddie Tape, one of the penalty killers, along with Danny Brugman, Steve Goddard, and Kevin McGee. Face off to the right. Winthrop, elbowing. And who's going off here? It's going to be Brian Crombie going off for Winthrop here at the 2:20 mark for elbowing. So now Norwood with the man advantage. And let's see who they keep out there. They'll keep out Dave Phelan, a senior, with Tom Shaughnessy on left wing, John Fish, a sophomore, on the right side. And the point man, Mike Parkinson and Jeff Lane. Parkinson and Lane both seniors. An elbow penalty here on Brian Crombie. So Freddie Tate, one of the penalty killers, along with Danny Brugman, Steve Goddard, and Kevin McGee. Face off to the right of Diaz. On the face off, right through a screen, gloved by Diaz as Tom Shaughnessy got a piece of it and rolled it in. If you missed some of the other action, it was Arlington over Matignon today by a score of 9-5, and in a game just completed here at the Garden, Braintree defeated Peabody by a score of 5-4. Now, play control, very fast, Shaughnessy centered it right across the goal mouth, and unable to connect with it was Fish. Now along the right wing, Fish lost it there to Goddard. Goddard just finds the opening and dumps it. And it's a shot on net as Gullah has to make the save. Co-captain Mike Gullah Sr. Leaves it back behind the net. And the puck comes all the way back into the Winthrop end. Goddard has it now. Goddard being forechecked by Fish, but turned and dumped it out again. 52 seconds to get a stick above the shoulder call here on Norwood, and a face-off back in that Mustang zone. Lee, you were saying what the matchups would be in the semifinals?
The winner of this Winthrop-Norwood game goes on to play Arlington, and of course, the previous game with Braintree, it'll be Braintree and Dedham in the semifinals for that Eastern Mass crown. Each of those four teams trying to take the seat vacated this year by Matignon, which Jerry just mentioned, lost to Arlington this afternoon.
Play back in. It is controlled now by Jim McTiernan of Norwood. Drops it back for Bill Clark. He couldn't handle it along the right wingboard. Chris Lowry has it up along the wingboard for Glazer. Glazer can't keep it in the zone as Danny Brugman gets it for Winthrop, and he fires it back into the Norwood zone. Winthrop doing an excellent job of killing off penalties right now. Back behind his own net, Tim Gordon. Around the board for Glazer on defense. All the way up ahead, too far ahead for Lowry. This could go for icing. Doesn't go far enough. Goddard pulled down behind by Lowry, but Goddard digs it up along the back dasher. Got it around back behind the net for Brugman. He stick handles away from Jim McTiernan and just finds the opening and dumps it. Danny Brugman has just shined all year, both offensively and defensively. And that'll just about do it here for the power play for Norwood. Up at center ice, a long drive by Clark went wide of the mark, taken by Goddard back behind his own net for Winthrop, swings it around the wingboard for Brugman. Brugman will skate it up center ice, stopped outside the blue line by Gordon of Norwood, and it's rolled right back in the Viking zone, taken by McGee. McGee in his own end now, up on the left wing for Joe McDonald. Fires it in, right wing side. Bob McDonald racing after the puck, has it, centers it out in front. When breaking up the play is Bob Dalton. Clears it back center ice. Going after Bill Galagli, tried to dump it back at center ice, but cleared it into the crowd from inside his own line. That's where the face-off will be. As both teams change up, now Bob Dalton out with Greg Sullivan and Dave Hassenfuss. For Norwood, face-off just inside the Winthrop line against Bob McDonald. On the face-off, McDonald pokes it up center ice, but right on the stick of Mike Parkinson. He puts it in along the right wing. No, he doesn't. As the offside is called, we're going to face off now back at center ice. So it will be Bob Dalton taking the drop here with Bob McDonald at center ice. McDonald gets it back to Jackie Burke at his own end. Burke wheels around off the wingboard back for Joe McDonald. Stick handles it up along the left wing into the corner, back into the Norwood zone. Going after now Parkinson, avoids the check of McDonald. Parkinson looks for an opening up along the near wingboard. Gets it up ahead for Hassenfuss, lost it there to Joe McDonald on a poke check. Now Bob McDonald trying to take it back. Here's Joe McDonald digging it back in, back behind the net. Centers it high up over the crossbar, into the right wing corner now. Taking the puck is Greg Sullivan. He tries to get it out of the zone. He does. Bounces it out, center ice. But intercepted by Joe McDonald. Back in right wing side for Burke. Burke racing after the puck into the right wing corner with Parkinson. They're tied up along the back dasher. It's loose now for Bob McDonald. Tries to dig it out in front. Shot saved by Gullah, and he buries it. Face-off will be to the left of Gullah. 9:57 left, first period of play. And I'll tell you, Lee, I have a feeling this is going to be a very tight hockey game.
Well, both teams obviously very... We know that Steve Goddard has led the Winthrop defense all year long. That was the first shot into Mike Gullah. So it's taken Winthrop, considerable amount of time here, almost 6 minutes to put their first shot in, and by the way, it was by that big first line.
Okay, Jackie Brugman out now with Bob Masterson and Joe Giannaco for Winthrop against the third line of Dave Whalen, Tom Shaughnessy, and John Fish for Norwood. Up at center ice now, Jackie Brugman turns it, dumps it right back in, but it's taken by Tim Gordon around to Glazer. He clears it up center ice for Fish. He can't handle it. It's now Goddard gets it back into the zone. Right wing side for Masterson. Right wing corner, couldn't handle it quite cleanly enough. And coming back now on the left wing is Tom Shaughnessy up at center ice. Rolls a shot in on Diaz. He clears it away right wing corner for Goddard. Goddard avoids the check of Fish. No, Fish takes it away back up along the back dasher. Now Goddard tied up. And coming in to help tie it up over there is Dave Phelan. We'll get a face-off now to the left of Diaz. Now both teams will quickly change up again here. Billy Clark comes back with Jim McTiernan and Chris Lowry. Face-off now to the left of Diaz as it is Freddie Tape out with Danny Brugman and Bob Masterson for the Winthrop Vikings. A little bit of juggling around, jockeying for position in that face-off circle now. On the drop, Clark gets it into the corner but lost it there as Goddard dug it up. Has it along the side of the net, clears it up too far ahead for Tape. Stopped at center ice now by Parkinson. Cross ice now for Jeff Lane. Tries to roll it into the zone. It's stopped at the blue line by Tape up ahead for Masterson. Too far ahead. Or rather, Mike Benson. Now it is taken back into the zone, right side by Danny Brugman. Into the corner. Tries to roll it up to the point, but it's stopped there by Jim McTiernan. He'll skate it out on the left wing with Clark the trailer. Gets it to Clark into the zone. Right wing side is shot. And a backhander missed there as Chris Lowry couldn't get a piece of it. Had him beat. On the right wing, Brugman gets it back up out at center ice. Stopped there by Parkinson. Tries to rifle it into the zone. It's stopped by Danny Brugman. Got it back to Benson. Back to Brugman inside the blue line. Backhands one into the zone. Stopped by Parkinson. Clears it back center ice. Winthrop changing on the move here. Back into the zone. Bill Galagli out on the ice. Here's a shot off the side of the net. Galagli gets to it. Clears it up along the far board in the zone for Brugman. Brugman out at center ice now for Freddie Tate. Left wing pass for Benson. Off the wing board. It's offside. Face-off will come back at neutral ice. 8:23 left in the first period of play. We're scoreless. Jerry Greenberg along with Lee Stacy from Boston Garden over WESX in Salem, Massachusetts. Eastern Massachusetts quarterfinal hockey. Now it is Bill and Bob Dalton out there with Greg Sullivan and Dave Hassenfuss. On the face-off, McDonald out with McDonald and Burke. Up at center ice, taken into the zone by Dalton. We got a penalty coming up here on Winthrop. And it's going to be for interference here. And let's see, who's that going to be on? I think it's going to be on Kevin McGee, the big defenseman, going for interference here at 6:48 of the first period. So again, Norwood with the man advantage. And Dalton will stay out with Greg Sullivan and Dave Hassenfuss. It is Brugman, Goddard, Crombie, and let's see, who's going to be the other skater? We got I guess Freddie Tape got a cut over the eye. He comes back now. Point men are Glazer and Tim Gordon. Face off to the right of Ray Diaz in the Winthrop zone. Dalton and Freddie Tape on the face-off now. Here it comes on the drop, comes back to Glazer, right full point. A shot through a screen, cleared away, back into Dalton. And missing on the shot was Hassenfuss off the right side. Back to the right point now, it is Glazer. Glazer with the puck, works it down low into the corner. Has the puck, back to Hassenfuss. Hassenfuss tries to center it, broken up, and taken by Tape and clears it. Back behind the net now, it is Gordon for Norwood. The Mustang is controlling in their own end. Up ahead now for Dalton. On the right now to Hassenfuss. Rolls it in off the helmet of Goddard. Goddard gets a piece of it, tries to golf it out of the zone and does. Out to center ice, stopping it there, Glazer. Cross ice pass left wing to Gordon. rolls it into the zone, but right on the stick of Goddard. Goddard pumps it up ahead. It's deflected away and right back on Glazer's stick. He looks for an opening and bounces one in on Diaz. Nearly mishandled it. It is Goddard swinging it around the wing board, up along the wing board. Tape tries to tie it up. Dalton pulled down by Tape, and we'll get a whistle on a face-off in the zone. 37 seconds left on the McGee penalty. 7:19 left in the period.
Ray Diaz once again having trouble with those long shots being shut in and on. We've seen him several times this year. Mishandled a lot of those shots. He has a hard time trying to directing them to the off wing board or the near wing board for the rebounds. And of course, Norwood very careful watching this. I'm sure they've scouted Winthrop and will keep their eye on this situation with Diaz on the long shots.
Playback in is Phelan out there with his line of Tom Shaughnessy and John Fish. Puck is cleared, however, out to center ice. Taking along the far board is Parkinson. Back with Jeff Lane on defense. Lane controls in his own zone. Clears it up in his own, but intercepted by Brugman in the Norwood end. Brugman wheeling it around now, rags it back center ice. Danny Brugman backhands a pass along the near wing board and dumps it back in the Norwood zone. 16 seconds left on the power play. Now Jeff Lane clears it up left wing now into Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy into the zone. Top of the left circle. Into the circle. Shot saved by Diaz. And that time he was tested as a little wrist shot there by Shaughnessy. Didn't get enough height on it, and Diaz was able to pull it in. 6:48 left in the period. 6 seconds left on the power play. As now Clark comes back here with Lowry and McTurnan. Face off to the right of Diaz. Freddie Tape stays out there to take this face off. He's got a bit of a delay here. Diaz is just fixing his glove a bit. And goal now will get set for the face off. On the drop, it is controlled by Clark. Gets it back now, but lost it as it's poked away out of the zone by Brugman. He's in a foot race now. Has it. Takes it back in and went wide of the net. Now back behind the net. The teams are back in full strength. Intercepted in the zone. Joe McDonald broke his stick. Or somebody broke his stick out there. No, it was not McDonald. We got another penalty coming up here. And it's against Winthrop. And here's Joe McDonald touching the puck, and we got another penalty coming up here. Flashing call. And you can hear the Winthrop fans behind us. They didn't like it at all. As penalty against Winthrop. Brian Crombie going for slashing here at 8:35 on a very debatable call, Lee.
I don't know. It was kind of questionable at the referee right on the scene of that infraction, but Crombie more or less collided with his counterpart from Norwood, and it more or less was an accidental sort of thing where both players collided. The referee called it. Now Braintree, or rather Norwood, now has their third power play opportunity.
It's on Goddard, not Crombie, so they lose their big defenseman out there. Here's Bob McDonald out as a penalty killer with Kevin McGee, Brian Crombie, and Freddie Tape. Power play unit will be the big line: Bill Clark, Jim McTurnan, and Chris Lowry. Face off now to the left of Ray Diaz. On the drop, back to Lowry. A little wrist shot in. Saved by Diaz, but not out of the zone. Lowry gets it back top of the left circle. Works it into the corner. Has it back behind the net. Now comes into the left corner. Out in front, centered it, but right on the stick of Bob McDonald. McDonald, left wing corner, looks to Clark, does. Back behind the net, Gullah stops it in the Norwood zone. Leaves it there now for Jeff Lane. Lane starts back right side, now switches off left side, gives it now to Parkinson. Back to Lane in his own zone. He'll skate it up center ice, looks for an opening and rolls it in the Winthrop end, going after Crombie. Back behind his own net, swings it around, lost it in the zone there to McTiernan. McTiernan looks to center and he can't do it. McGee breaks up the plate, tries to tie it up along the back dasher, and we get a quick whistle there. And a face-off out to the right of Diaz. 5:43 left in the first period of play. No score. 48 seconds left in the Goddard penalty. And now it is Dave Phelan coming with Tom Shaughnessy and John Fish. No, we'll correct that. It'll be Bob Dalton with Greg Sullivan and Dave Hassenfuss. With Glazer and Gordon, the point men. Bob McDonald stays out as the penalty killer on the face-off. Puck knocked in a left wing corner. McGee can't get it out of the zone, kept in by Gordon. But he tried to roll it down the chute and lost control of it. Now kicks it ahead, but right on the stick of McGee. Gets it up along the wing board, but Gordon pokes it right back in left wing corner. Crombie over there, run at. Tied up along the back dasher, but broken up by Greg Sullivan. Back out left point. Here's a shot by Gordon. Drew a screen. Directed away by Diaz. Good interference in front of his net by his own defenseman. Now it's controlled by Bob McDonald. In the zone. Gets it out. Center ice. Stopped there by Dolph. Drops it back for Glazer. Back along the left wing board. Into the zone for Greg Sullivan. Centers it for Dolph. He couldn't handle it, but Hasselfuss took a shot and it went wide. Right wing side now. Taken by Danny Brugman. In his zone. Looks to clear it. And that one nearly came up here. As Lee got out the old first baseman glove. 5:01 left in the period. 6 seconds left on the Goddard penalty. And Lee just said he always has to protect me. Especially when we go through those big crowds. Us little guys can't handle all that skyscraper stuff. Now, Dave Phelan out with Shaughnessy and Fish against Bob McDonald. On the drop, it gets back to Fish, now to the point to Lane, but he tried to roll one in, knocked down by McGee. Out to Bob McDonald, center ice. Teams are at full strength now. Up at the blue line, play is onside, but in the Norwood zone, controlled by Parkinson, back behind his own net. The forechecker is Danny Brugman. Brugman staying out with Joe McDonald and Bob McDonald. McGee and Goddard back at the point. Now it is McGee trying to get it out of the zone, intercepted in the zone by Shaughnessy, out in front, just went back behind the net. Swung around the wing board. Now Joe McDonald has it in the right wing corner, swings it around, back behind the net, left wing side. For Danny Brugman, he's run off the play by Shaughnessy. McGee gets it, swings it around now up for Joe McDonald. Tries to get it out of the zone, he's ridden off the play, but Goddard has it. He wheels around, back behind his goal line, up along the left wing board for Joe McDonald. Tries to backhand it out of the zone. Norwood forechecking very well right now. Here's a shot in wide of Diaz. Another one right out in front. Diaz cleared it away last second. Now Phelan tries to get it up along the left point. Can't do it. Bob McDonald controls. Clears it up. Center ice. Stopped by Lane. He'll bang it off the far wing board. Right back in to the Winthrop end. Winthrop trying to change personnel here. They can't do it. Now Goddard has it. Clears it up. Center ice for Bob McDonald. He can't handle it. Stopped by Gordon. And right off the pad of Joe McDonald, and he dumped it right back in. It almost looked deliberate. But we're going to face off outside the Norwood blue line with 3:49 left in the first period. No score.
Once again, Jerry, the ice surface causing all kinds of problems here for both these teams. It's really surprising that the Boston Garden ice surface would be all full of ruts and everything, but it is. And all players for both, all four teams we've seen here tonight having a hard time staying on their feet.
Bob McDonald out with Jackie Burke. Bob McDonald has it, top of the front, poked off the stick by Glazer. Now Clark has it for Norwood. Out of the zone with Lowry. Lowry stick handling across. Back to Clark, top of the slot. Ripped off the play by Joe McDonald, but takes it back in anyway. Puck loose in front. Shot save. Rebound left in front of the eyes, and it's still there. And finally buried. Some heavy action in front of that Winthrop net. As Norwood was buzzing.
Ray Diaz has been solid in front of that net from close-up shots right through the Northeastern Conference playoffs, and right now he's down. He looks like he got a stick in the stomach or possibly the face, and he's going to be looked at by the Winthrop trainer. What I was going to say, Jerry, is the fact that on those long shots, he looks unsure of himself, but in close, he has been dynamite down the stretch for Winthrop.
We have 3:32 left in the period, and now I guess the doctor or trainer is going to look at Diaz. And he might have gotten poked. Let's see, I'm trying to see what the story is. He is down in the crease. Let's see here. Diaz is still down in the crease. Velasquez out on the ice now, Lee, and Diaz is stretched out. I'm wondering if it might have been like a shot, as you said, a shot in the gut, or maybe a poke off the mask. Looking now, as I think Diaz is up. He's not, I don't think he's too seriously hurt. I think they're going to administer maybe some first aid down on the ice. Standing in the wings, of course, for Winthrop will be Mark Surratt, goaltender who has seen some action here this year, but right now Ray Diaz still down on the ice, but it looks like he's gotten up on at least his legs or knees down there as a team of Winthrop coaches are huddled over him. Right now, Norwood is controlling play here, and Diaz has been short of spectacular and close. 11 saves here, and there's still 3:32 remaining in this first period. And so Diaz has had a solid game here for Winthrop. Norwood, once again, this Bay State lead, very impressive. This is the first time that we have seen any representatives of the Bay State League, or I have. I don't know about Jerry, but they're very aggressive. And Ray Diaz right now is coming up. It looks like he got hit in the back of the neck. That's where he's checking him out. And of course, when a goaltender goes down to cover up on a loose puck, the first thing he does is bury his face into the ice to cover it up. And of course, the player could have come along and caught the open portion of the back of his neck. And right now he's skating off the ice, and Mark Surratt is still on the bench, so I don't think Ray Diaz is going to leave. He'll just come over for a drink of water and go right back in the action again. A very tough goaltender. We've seen him down a couple of times this year, really get knocked around in front, but he's bounced back. And of course, a lot of people said that's Winthrop's weakness, but as I mentioned before, down the stretch, Ray Diaz has been tough. He has definitely taken his lumps, Lee, and right now he's over the bench getting a drink of water and a little bit of refreshment. Billy Falaska was livid going out on the ice, and I think it was going back to that penalty against Goddard that he was really furious about. And I think he's also a little angry at the rough stuff in front of the crease, but that'll happen, and there's really very little you can do about it. So right now we got a bit of a delay. It looks like Diaz, had a bit of a neck problem. They were giving him a bit of a massage in the back of the neck, but he's okay. He's coming back into the crease. And the face-off now will be out to his left in the Winthrop zone. Lee just made a notation that the headmasters have made sure there's a doctor here tonight. Wish they did the same for basketball. On the face-off now, controlled by Goddard. In his own zone, clears it up right wing for Jackie Burke. Burke racing into the zone, can't do anything as Parkinson gets there and clears it back center ice. Kevin McGee has it, dumps it in, that'll be offside. He didn't wait for Burke to clear. Actually, that gave Winthrop a chance to get a bit of a breather, both teams actually, and they have both teams have their first units back out there. 3:19 left in the first period of play. We're scoreless here. Clark against McDonald on the face-off. It is knocked around at center ice. Now taken by Lowry into the zone, but that's going to be called offside. And we'll come back out. Center ice. Outside the Winthrop blue line along the far board. Taken by Bob McDonald. Dumps it back for Goddard. Up ahead for Joe McDonald. Stopped at center ice by Lane, but McDonald got a piece of it and rolled it right back into the Norwood zone. Taking it now behind the net is Parkinson up along the far wing board ahead for McTiernan. He had to poke it back for Parkinson as Winthrop using two forecheckers right now, McDonald and Burke. There's a shot up along the far wing for McTiernan. He'll skate it out of the zone with Clark on the wing. Now here's McTiernan with a drive, and it went way wide up along the right wing board. Stopped by Lane, he missed on it. Here comes Joe McDonald, 3-on-1. Joe McDonald drops it back by McDonald. And a great defensive play by Parkinson, breaking up the play as he went sprawling and stopped the puck with his leg. Now Lowry has it back behind the net. Winthrop with a great 3-on-1 break there. Now it's intercepted in the zone again by Burke. Top of the slot for Bob McDonald. Back slot, Goddard, a shot to the screen. Kicked away and knocked down by Lane. Back for Clark, center ice, right wing pass, too far into the zone for McTiernan. McGee will get to it. Teams change up on the run here. Play is tied up along the wing board in the corner, and we'll get a face-off in the Winthrop zone to the left. Or rather, that's right, the left of Ray Diaz here with 2:15 to go in this first period of play. There is no score in the hockey game. Now Freddie Tape is out with Paul Plakas and Danny Brugman against Bob Dalton with Dave Hassenfuss and Greg Sullivan. Comes out right point. Glazer, a shot through a screen, just deflected away. Left wing corner. Taken by Greg Sullivan. Missed on his clearing pass. And Danny Brugman got it out to Tape. To Paul Plakas into the zone. Ridden off his stick by Glazer. But Plakas centers it out in front for Tape. He fanned on it. Puck loose along the side of the net. Gullum out of the crease. It comes out right point now. Crombie tries to roll a shot. It's blocked. And here comes Norwood right back out. But Galandre got a piece of it and dumped it back into the zone. That broke up a good break, though. And the faceoff will come back at center ice.
Well, right now, Winthrop trying to mount some offense here. It's much like that game of Malden Catholic, except for Norwood has not been able to score yet. Norwood carrying the play. Winthrop just going into the zone, counting on some breaks. But right now, Norwood defensive unit is doing an excellent job.
Faceoff will come back in the Norwood zone, or rather the Winthrop zone, as it'll be Dalton out there against Freddie Tape. Galagli only taking very short shifts here, as now Goddard comes out replacing him with Brian Crombie. Dalton and Tape to the left of Ramon Diaz with 1:51 left in the period.
At this point, with about 1 minute 38 seconds to play in first period, the tape ran out. However, Norwood got a penalty before the period ran out. We pick up the action at start of second period. Here we go, Vikings.
We'll be going for 1 minute and 18 seconds. So Winthrop will have another chance at that potent power play with 2 men in the penalty box for Norwood. Now that's all that's on the statistics sheet at this first intermission here is Norwood and Winthrop have played to a scoreless tie through first 15 minutes. Only penalties have been called in the first period. 3 to Winthrop and 2 to Norwood. Those 2 Norwood ones coming just at the tail end of the first period. For Winthrop, Brian Crombie went out at 3:20 for elbowing, no damage done. Kevin McGee at 6:48 for interference. And then Steve Goddard going off at 8:35 for slashing. And once again, no damage done during those 3 penalties. Ray Diaz, a very good game and goal so far for him in the first period. He has 13 saves against Mike Gulla's 5. Gulla, in fact, only had 1 save with about 13 minutes gone by into the period. When Winthrop's really started drilling some in on him, he made that fantastic save that time through a screenshot by Joe McDonald. I don't know how he saw it, but he got his pad up there and made the save. And Winthrop has been able to keep Norwood off the scoreboard, and Norwood has been able to do the same, as Norwood has actually been carrying play here in the first period. You know, Jerry, one thing we should watch out for when we start against Malden Catholic is the fact that Winthrop in superb physical condition and more or less just ran down Malden Catholic as the game went into the third period. And we were talking afterwards perhaps that Malden Catholic was playing over their heads. They just showed some excellent strength in that game. But anyway, Winthrop was able to stay close to them as far as the score goes and to play some pretty good defensive hockey. And in the third period, it was all over for Malden Catholic.
We've seen Winthrop do that all yearly, with that third period being one of their strongest because, as you say, they seem to have the endurance, whereas other teams are running into problems, getting a little bit tired. And I'm wondering, of course, Norwood is a team that has skated 3 strong lines all year. I think they can match the durability with Winthrop. But let's see if this 2-man advantage here for Winthrop is going to hurt Norwood as we start the second period of play. No score in the first period, but I don't know, how would you rule it if you were judging, giving the period to one team or the other? Who do you think had the advantage?
I think definitely Norwood had the advantage that time, as they were really have the positional edge on Winthrop, especially early in the opening moments of the first period. But Winthrop continued to battle back. It's a little bit different game than it was last Saturday. Malden, the Catholic had, was in complete control, and Winthrop had to battle back. Winthrop's in this hockey game so far, and playing, their defense seems to have straightened out a little bit. They're carrying the puck out of the zone a little bit better than they were against Malden Catholic. And of course, Norwood not checking as well as Malden Catholic did also on Saturday. So that is the difference why Winthrop has been able to carry the puck out of the zone a little bit more with some success than they were on Saturday.
Well, we're just about set for the second period of action here. Don't forget, I hope Lee's all set for this tomorrow night, folks. I am. This should be a dandy ball game. The Salem girls basketball team meeting Cambridge Latin in the Division I North Championship, and that will be played at Waltham at 7 o'clock, and we'll have all the action beginning at around 6:45. Hope you'll join us as I've read up on all my rule books, and I'm all set to go. It's the first time all year long I've known Jerry to want to go into the locker room after the game for interviews. Anyway, we have some hockey action returning here. Of course, if you missed our first game, it was 5-4 in favor of Braintree over Peabody. Peabody is now finished with the season. Peabody finishes a very successful season, 13-4-1. Braintree rose to 15-3-1 and goes on to meet their rivals in the Bay State League, Dedham, in that semifinal game, which will be played at Boston Garden on Sunday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. The winner of this game will be playing at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning against the winner of the this afternoon's game, Arlington-Matagnon, which of course was Arlington, 9-5 over defending state champions Matagnon. And so it'll be Arlington, Dedham, and either Winthrop or Norwood in the semifinal of this coming Saturday. Should be a good semifinal round. Hopefully, an Old Shore team, Winthrop, will be in that round. And we're set for another 15 minutes of hockey action here in the second period. Here to bring you all the play is the man who'll be in the locker room this Friday night, Jerry Greenberg. You know, Lee, it's theoretical that we could have an all Bay State League final this year. On the face-off now, it's controlled. Winthrop on a two-man advantage. Here comes Joe McDonald, left wing side, takes this drive, went high and wide. Out to the right point, now to Danny Brugman. Brugman holding it, top of the circle. Rolls it down into the circle from Bob McDonald. Across the slot, cleared away by Chris Lowry, one of the penalty killers out there. As it is Bob and Joe McDonald with Jackie Burke. Here's a shot by Goddard, broken up in front, poked out by Jackie Burke. One penalty is over. Greg Sullivan back out on the ice. 50 seconds left on the other one. Bob McDonald has it back behind the net, poked off his stick. Tim Gordon has it now. Gordon swings it around the wingboard. Brugman stops it at the right point, rolls it back down for Jackie Burke. Burke in the circle, turns, looks, closes out in front. Bob McDonald back here, just went wide. Has got to shut him off in the right left wing corner now. Bob McDonald gets it back left point. Goddard rolls it back down the chute for Bob McDonald in the circle. Into the corner, lost it there to Tim Gordon, and now it's taken away by Joe McDonald. Trying to center it out in front, went through everybody's legs out to the right point. Danny Brugman. Brugman holds the shot, rolls it down into the corner for Burke. Right wing side, back behind the net now for Joe McDonald. Has it, holds the puck. Tried to get it around the net, but it was taken away by Gordon and kept in by Brugman. Right point, back to Burke. Right corner, back out to Brugman. Right circle now. Here's the shot to a screen save. Rebound, cleared out. And this will go for icing. As the penalty is over, but Norwood has killed off a two-man advantage here. And the teams are at full strength as we're into the second period of play. So some good defensive work by Norwood. Now, as the teams come out, we'll see Freddie tape out with Mike Benson and Danny Brugman up on a wing with Bill Galagli and Brian Crombie. Now that'll change as Jackie Brugman comes over the boards with Bob Masterson and Joe Giannaco as Billy Palaska makes a quick change as Dave Phelan out with Tom Shaughnessy and John Fish for Norwood with Mike Parkinson and Jeff Lane back on the point. Face-off in the Norwood zone to our right now. Way up along the wing board as it's taken there by Shaughnessy. Lost it in the zone to Masterson. A shot by Janocco just wide into the right wing corner. Broken up there by Shaughnessy as it is cleared up along the board. Now here comes Shaughnessy out of the zone. Long lead pass, hops over the stick of Fish into the right wing corner now in the Winthrop zone as Crombie ties it up and gets the face-off to the left of Ramon Diaz. Now both teams will change again. At the end of this second period of play, we'll go back to the studio for our nightcap news with Max Martin, our final newscast of the day. And then we'll be back here for period number 3, and then we'll say goodnight, barring any overtime. Bill Clark and Freddie Tate on the face-off to the left of Diaz. It is controlled by Clark out in front. Here's it for McTiernan. Another puck loose in front in the crease area, and no one could control. I can't believe the puck didn't go in. As McTiernan and Clark had Diaz dead to rights, and they just couldn't poke it home. Now here's Brookman coming back the other way. Takes a hard drive. Rebounds in on Gullah, and he has to hold on as Brookman just got a piece of it, and the face-off will come out to the right of Gullah. 12:50 left in the period here. Both goaltenders have been living lucky lives here tonight. A lot of pressure in front of the net. As Winthrop has been basically taking the play here to Norwood in this second period. Now on the face-off, it is controlled by Glazer back behind his own net, up along the wing board, hops over the stick of McTiernan and into the crowd, and we'll get a face-off back inside the Mustang zone. Freddie Tate, who hurt his shoulder in the game against Malden Catholic last Saturday, was a doubtful starter tonight, but Bill Palaska mentioned this afternoon that he had a muscle tear, and it was up to the youngster whether he was going to play or not. And he's here. Now up on the left wing. Stick handling McTiernan, couldn't get it into the zone. Now stopped there by Gordon as he tried to roll it right back in. Dumped right back out, neutral ice, taken by Clark, left side McTiernan. Tries to poke it ahead for Clark, but McGee not got a piece of it. Dumped it back center ice, taken again by Tim Gordon of Norwood. Cross ice pass now to Glazer. Looks for the opening. Can't roll it in as Benson stopped it at the blue line. And now we got the offside. A couple of, not scores, but results outside the Garden in college basketball tonight. Providence knocked off Holy Cross in the first round of the ECAC tournament in Springfield. And I guess the Celtics are losing after 3 quarters of play to Atlanta. So they continue to have problems on the road. Now, play back in the Winthrop end as it is Bob McDonald's line out with Bert and Joe McDonald. As Norwood forechecking now is it is I think going off for interference. Away from the play. I didn't see that. All I saw was 2 bodies down on the ice. And now we'll see Norwood on the power play here at the 3:05 mark of this second period of play. No score in the hockey game as it is Bob Dalton out with Greg Sullivan and Dave Hassenfuss. Mike Parkinson and Jeff Lane back at the points. Face off to the right of Diaz. Freddie Tate, Danny Brugman, Steve Goddard, and Brian Crombie, the penalty killers on the face-off. Dalton gets it back top of the slot to Lane. Left side, Parkinson. Parkinson back down the chute into the corner now. Too far for Sullivan as Crombie tries to tie it up. Dug out there by Dalton. Dalton gets it back to the left point. Now to Parkinson. It drives for a screen and cleared away by Goddard. Good play there. Up along the wing board. Brugman can't get it out of the zone as Lane gets a piece of it along the wing board. Now Goddard gets it back and dumps it out and hit the official and stopped at center ice. But Norwood has to clear. Now Parkinson rifles it right back into the zone. Stopped there by Goddard. He turns around, dumps it, but not out as Parkinson keeps it in. A backhander in on Diaz, clears it away. Off wing corner, Greg Sullivan again with it. For Norwood, up to the point. Parkinson takes this shot, holds it now, comes along lost it to tape, but Dalton gets it back. Got it back to Sullivan on the off wing. The back and out in front of shot off the side of the net. Hassenfuss couldn't put it on. Hassenfuss out in front again. The goal turns and shoots and scores. Power play goal for Bob Dalton from Dave Hassenfuss at 3:57. And it's 1-0 in favor of Norwood here on a power play goal. Excellent work that time by Norwood as Dalton was spread perfectly in front. He picked up that loose puck, and Radiaz way out of position, had no chance on that one, and now Norwood has taken the first goal lead here. 1-0 at 11:03 remaining in the second period. So now, Winthrop's been in this situation before, trailing. Tom McDonald out with Burke and Joe McDonald. A couple of quick defensive changes for Norwood as Parkinson and Lane come back over the board. Hassenfuss, as we said, gets the assist. And Greg Sullivan also gets one. Here's Jackie Burke to Bob McDonald into the zone. Pulls one in front, broken up, but McDonald gets it back. Now back behind it, and centers it out in front. Puck loose there. Puck cleared away and back out of the zone. Up at center ice. McGee has it. We got another penalty coming up here. This one, I think, is on Norwood as it is touched there. And we got a holding penalty coming up here on Mike Parkinson. So Winthrop is on the power play at 4:15 of the second period. And now we'll see Winthrop try to go to work and get the equalizer. And I don't know how that face-off can come. Well, I'm sorry, the face-off will be in the Norwood zone, as the penalty was against the Mustangs. Now Billy Palaska talking with his troops over there at the wing board, try and get them set up here. McDonald, Burke, Rudman, and Goddard. Penalty killers are Clark, McKernan, Lane, and let's see, Gordon is the other penalty killer out there. Face off to the right now, Mike Bella. 10:45 left, middle period of play. On the face-off, it is controlled by Joe McDonald, left wing corner. Gets it back to Bob. Shoots! Save made by Gullah. Puck lost again! And cleared away by Gullah off the leg. What a save! Jackie Burke, right wing corner, has it now in the circle. Turns around. Closes. Rolls a pass inside off the side of that. Bob McDonald couldn't poke it home. Now Jackie Burke gets it back left, right point. Rudman, left point to Goddard. Takes the shot, blocked there by Clark. And it's loose in the zone, taken now by Bob McDonald. Cross ice now to Burke. Burke top of the circle, holds the puck. Back top of the slot now to Rudman. Back to Bob McDonald. Tries to keep it in the zone. Now it's taken out by McTiernan. 2-on-2. McTiernan into the zone with Clark. McTiernan takes a little weak shot, cleared away by Diaz. Buck along the back dasher. Clark got a piece of it. Now Goddard comes up, tries to get it up along the wing board. It'll be kept in by Lane. No, he lost it. As Joe McDonald gets it out to Bob. 3-on-2. Bob McDonald across the line with Burke on the right wing. McDonald lost it there. It's taken away by Gordon, but now Goddard to drive, and it's cleared away by Gullah. Rebound Burke, back behind the net. Comes to the right wing corner. Gullah made another good save there. Now Burke has it right wing circle. 25 seconds left in the power play. Up over the stick of Bob McDonald. He couldn't set it up. Now Joe McDonald along the far wing. Lost it to Clark. He'll skate it out of the zone. Clark 2-on-1 with McTiernan. Clark takes a shot, save, rebound, cleared out in front. Good save there by Diaz, but stolen by McTiernan. McTiernan drops it back. Clark stands on his shot. Goddard tries to clear away. Taken back by Clark. Big point, a shot by Glazer. Save made, nearly crossed up Diaz. Good pressure by Norwood. They kill off the penalty and nearly score in the process. Now here comes Bob McDonald back for Winthrop. At center ice. Across the line. Top of the slot. Knocked off the play. Puck is rushing. Front nearly poked home. On the wing board. Jackie Burke. Written off the play but keeps it in the zone now. Puts it along the far board. Broken up by Glazer. Cleared off. This will go for icing. Coming out and stopping it is Ray Diaz. He didn't see that icing was up. And he made the glove save all the way out in the face-off circle, and that'll cost him as they'll get a drop in the Winthrop zone here with 8:50 left in the middle period of play. Norwood leading by a score of 1-0. The goaltending of Mike Gullip tonight is just fantastic. Ray Diaz on the other end, also just equal fantastic, as both goaltenders have shown why their teams are in the semifinals or the quarterfinals this year. And all the action of this quarterfinal action of Eastern Massachusetts hockey coming to you over WESX in Salem. Face off now to the left of Ramon Diaz. It's pretty tape out against Bob Dalton on this drop now. On the face off, it is won by Winthrop as Paul Flake has got it up to Danny Brugman. He couldn't handle it. Now it's up at center ice, dumped right back in the zone by Parkinson. Bill Galagli puts it back behind the net for Crombie. Lost it there, a poke check by Hassenfoot. And standing on the shot was Dalton as he was calling the play. Here comes Flake, it's out of the zone with Brugman. Into the zone, he jumps off the play and still controlled it partially. Sitting him around was Lane. Lane got it back up to Parkinson, up on the left wing. Now to Greg Sullivan. Back across the line, right wing pass, too far ahead now for Hassenfoot. And he trips up for Crombie. We got a penalty coming up here on Hassenfoot as he trips up Ryan Crombie in the zone. So the face-off back outside the Winthrop line, and Winthrop with another power play here at 6:42. Just looking around the garden tonight, Jerry, you've got quite a crowd up here tonight for this hockey game. I'd say there's a good 9,000-10,000 people in this house tonight for this one. Of course, Winthrop right around the corner, so you get a lot of the Winthrop fans coming up for this one. You can hear behind us. Now, Bob McDonald back with his troops on the power play. McDonald tries to poke it in, can't do it as Clark takes it away from him. Clark and McTiernan, the penalty killers. Now Bob McDonald up at center ice. Into the zone, it's offside. Joe McDonald a little ahead of the play on the left wing. Norwood with a 1-0 lead here on a Bob Dalton goal from Dave Hassenfuss and Greg Sullivan at 3:57. It was a power play. That's the only scoring of a hockey game thus far. But it's turning out the way I figured it would. It's a very tight game, and I think it's going to end up being a one-goal game. Bob McDonald and Billy Clark here at the face-off at center ice. McDonald wins it, gets it into the zone. Left wing side, rolls it in left wing corner for Joe McDonald. He lost it, but Bob McDonald gets it back left point to Goddard. Back to Bob McDonald, back to Goddard, left side again. Turns and shoots. It went high off the glass and into the crowd. So we're going to face off now outside the Norwood line as that was dumped out of the rink by Winthrop. 7:56 left in the middle period. A reminder once again at the end of this period, we'll go back to the studio for our nightcap newscast with Max Martin. Now the face-off. Bob McDonald gets it to the near wing board, now to Danny Brugman. Brugman looks for an opening. He skates it around center ice, cross ice, now to Goddard, center ice, now to McDonald. Bob McDonald in the left, top of the circle, holds the puck, wheels around now, has it, turns around. Closes out in front, broken up nicely by Jeff Lane, and here comes Bill Clark out of the zone with McTiernan. McTiernan gets the pass, left wing side closes, jumps it back, and Goddard breaks up the play as he pounces on the puck and ties it up along the back dash here. Lee, I'll tell you, I like this Billy Clark and Jim McTiernan combination. They are flashy skaters. Face off to the right of Diaz. Bob McDonald will take the drop here. Now we'll get a change as Greg Sullivan comes over with Bob Dalton. Quite a different story from the first hockey game where we only had, I think, 3 penalties in the entire game. And here we've had a bunch. Now it is Greg Sullivan taking a face-off with Bob McDonald. Puck in the Winthrop zone deep. Now up along the right wing board it is Jackie Burke with a wing-to-wing pass to Joe McDonald into the zone, has it, left wing corner, dumps it back for Bob McDonald, out in front, tries to stuff it home, and Gullis shuts him off again. Right wing corner, Joe McDonald gets it back to Bob McDonald. 25 seconds left on the power play. Joe McDonald, right wing circle. Back to the right point to Brugman. Cross ice, left wing side, Goddard. Deep. Ridden off the play, gets it back now. Left point, top of the slot, closes. Out in front, Bob McDonald couldn't handle the pass, right wing corner. McDonald has it now. That ice is awfully bad out there tonight, Lee. McDonald tries to turn and shoot, gets it in front, but back in and save Gullah. He has been incredible. 4 seconds left on the power play. 6:52 left in the period. Jackie Burke just shaking his head out there, wondering what this line has to do to score against Mike Gullah. Mike Gullah, what can you say? He just did a great job of following that puck in. It was a weak shot along the ice, but would have given most goaltenders trouble. That time he just picked it up and picked it up with his glove hand. 1-0 Norwood right now. And Winthrop with one more shot here on this power play. Pretty tape with Plakis and Brugman. With Galagly and Crombie back at the points now. On the faceoff, comes back to Galagly, right side. Rolls one in front. Can't do anything with it. Plakis gets it left wing corner. He's bumped hard along the back dasher there. And tied up by Glazer at the penalty end. Teams are at full strength. Faceoff comes out now to the right of Mike Gullah, the senior goaltender. Out of the Bay State League. Pretty tough league. Dedham, Norwood, Braintree, all in the playoffs this year. And believe it or not, they're all still alive. As we're in the last game of the quarterfinals now. On the face-off now, pretty tape, and this is Dave Phelan out there now as they've changed up. Phelan got it up to Fish. Left wing to Shaughnessy. Takes a shot, blocked. Fish gets it back, Shaughnessy up top of the slot, be kept in there by Gordon. Backhand, one right in through a screen, and Diaz made the save. Rebound loose in front, kicked around and cleared away by Brugman. Starts back right wing side, lead pass for Plakis. Up at center ice, breaks it in left wing side. Centers it out in front for tape too far ahead. He goes after it, right wing corner, out in front, kept in top of the slot now by Crombie. Rolls it into the right wing corner, back behind the net. Gordon and Tape fight for the puck. Tape falls down, loses it, but Plakis takes it out. Left wing side, a shot saved by Gullah again. Puck loose in front, and the penalty coming up here again. I'll tell you, Mike Gullah is getting my vote for all-scholastic goaltender right now for this season. And I think there's no penalty, just a tie-up along the side of the net again. And a face-off will come out to the right of Gullah with 6:01 left in the period. Billy Clark comes back with McTiernan and Lowry. And McDonald comes back now with Joe McDonald and Jackie Burke. Danny Brugman coming out now to play a point. And Lee, we do have a penalty. There is a penalty here to Dave Glazer of Norwood. He did go off. That one comes at 8:59. Cross-checking the call. There's a shot by McDonald out in front, and Gullah shuts it off again. Gullah tied up by McDonald, now coming out of the zone. McTiernan with Clark into the zone. Has it, left wing circle. Clark skidding around, centers it off the skate of Goddard. Cleared out in front by McTiernan, no one there to collect the pass. Here comes Joe McDonald, up for Bob McDonald, center ice. McDonald leads it in for Burke, but it's cleared out right back now to Bob McDonald across the line. Right side of drive and a save. Out in front, loose and buried by Lane in the crease. And that could be a penalty shot. Lane came across the crease and made the save, and of course, you cannot make a stop in the crease unless you're the goaltender. I don't know if we're going to get the penalty shot or not here. Let's see. We're going to get a penalty coming up on, let's see. We're going to get a penalty shot here? No. Jeff Lane just goes off. I thought we might get a penalty shot, Lee, but apparently not. So right now, Jeff Lane joins Dave Glazer Glazer in the penalty box, and Winthrop with another two-man advantage. This one will be for a 1 minute, 1 second. Comes at 9:28. Delay game call against Jeff Lane, and I could have sworn, Lee, that could have been a penalty shot.
Well, this will give Winthrop their second two-man advantage of the game, and Norwood so far has been able to do something that no team has been able to do against Winthrop. Norwood now has 8 penalties in the game, and not one power play goal by the Vikings.
Well, here we go. Bob McDonald out with his troops on the face-off. A little bouncer right in on Gullen. He makes the save. The penalty killers right now are Chris Lowry with, let's see, Tim Gordon and Billy Clark. No, I'm sorry, Parkinson out there instead of Clark. On the face-off, back to the right point to Bruckman. Holds the top of the circle. Closes. Winds up. The drive. Kicked out. Out in front. It is controlled by Lowry. He can't get out of the zone. They're going to call stick above the shoulders call here. And a face-off will come back in the Winthrop end. As the Vikings just couldn't keep it in the zone.
That shot by Danny Bruckman had something on it. Let me tell you, it was low, a very difficult shot for a goaltender to handle. It looked like it had something tailing away on the puck, too, but he was able to kick it out and clear the rebound.
Face-off now to the left of Ray Diaz. And Norwood doing an excellent job of killing off penalties tonight. They have a 1-goal lead right now, 1-0. And theirs came on a power play. Bobby Dalton. Face-off now. It's controlled. Backhanded by Lowry. Through a screen, and Diaz made the bad save, and I don't even know if he saw that one coming in on him. Now here's Danny Bruckman coming back out of the zone. Left wing pass for Joe McDonald. McDonald across the line. Drops it back for Bob McDonald in the circle. Has it in the corner now. Skating around with it. Holds the puck in the circle. Centers it back right side. Bruckman through screen. Kicked away by Goddard again. Left point by Goddard. Now he's got the puck. Holds it. Top of the circle. Takes the shot. Just went wide. And another run on the ice. And that redirected the shot. Cross ice now. Goddard has it left wing. Closes. Takes the shot. Cleared away by Goddard. Knocked high in the air. Puck knocked around. Bobby McDonald has it in the circle. Drops it back now to Danny Bruckman. Closes. Rolls it in front. Bobby McDonald. And Jackie Burke score! They finally connect. Jackie Burke gets the power play goal at 10:25. Can't handle it, and now Norwood is back at full strength. Clock along the near wing, broken up by Bob McDonald, but right back on the stick of Jeff Lane. He lost it. The Jackie Burke pokes it up ahead, but stopped there by Parkinson. He'll rifle it right back into the Winthrop end. Maybe icing here. Let's see. It is waved off as Clark got a piece of it. Now taken back by Danny Bruckman in his own zone. Headman pass up at center ice. Taken back there by Lowry as he rolls it right back in the Winthrop zone. Goddard has it back behind the net. Goddard. About that. 3:23 left in the middle period. We're tied up here at 1. Game coming to you from Boston Garden, Jerry Greenberg along with Lee Stacy. Quarterfinal action, Eastern Massachusetts Division I hockey. Freddie Tape out now against Bobby Dalton on this faceoff. Tape wins it, gets it to Brian Crombie, tries to roll it into the zone, stopped by Dalton. Gets it off along the near board to Greg Sullivan. He'll roll it in the Winthrop end. Back behind the net, Billy Galagli has it there. Swings it around the wing board for Paul Plakas. Lost control of it, but Tape gets a piece of it and backhands it out of the zone. This could go for icing here. Let's see. It will be touched by Gordon, and we'll get the faceoff back in the Viking zone. In earlier action today, it was Arlington over Matignon, 9-5, and Braintree over Peabody in a game broadcast over here on WESX, 5-4. And a very hard-fought hockey game. Yesterday, of course, Dedham beat Saugus 7-2. Dedham will meet Braintree, and Arlington will meet the winner of this one here. On the face-off now. It is controlled by Goddard in his own zone. Fish, the forechecker out there. Back behind the net. Centered out in front by Fish. Cleared away, but not out of the zone. Goddard finally gets it up ahead for Plakas. At center ice. On the left wing. Across the line. Gets around Lane. Forced into the corner. Now Plakas puts on the brakes. Up along the wing board. Poked away. And now what do we got? Holding penalty coming up. And it's on Norwood. Lane going again for the Mustangs. Time of the penalty, 12:15. So once again, the Vikings with a power play opportunity. That is their 8th power play opportunity of a hockey game. And they have only got one goal to show for it. Now McTiernan and Clark out there, along with Gordon and Parkinson as the penalty killers. The old reliable Bob McDonald, Joe McDonald, and Jackie Burke with Goddard and Brugman back at the points on the face-off. It's controlled by Burke. Left side now to Goddard. Top of the circle. Rolls one in front for Burke. He couldn't handle it. As Gullick cleared it away, but Burke gets it back right wing corner. Back to the point now to Brugman. Brugman rolls it back down the chute now for Bob McDonald in the right circle. Closes. Out in front through traffic. Broken up. And here comes McTiernan out of the zone. He'll skate with it. Broken up on the poke check there by Goddard, but Parkinson gets it back on his own left wing side. Takes the shot. Cleared away by Diaz. Good stick save there. Along the far board. McTiernan keeps the pressure onto the zone, but taken now by Bob McDonald. McDonald in the zone. Poked off the play by Clark, but gets it up to Goddard. Goddard across the line. Right wing side, offside again. 54 seconds left here on the power play. 2:09 left in the middle period. And the face-off now outside the Norwood blue line, as we'll see, let's see a couple of changes. Greg Sullivan comes over the boards along with Chris Lowry. Dave Glazer back with Tim Gordon as the penalty killers. No changes for Winthrop. Bob McDonald on the face-off. It's right back on the stick of Goddard at center ice. Looks up ahead for McDonald into the zone. That's offside by a mile as Joe McDonald raced into the zone. So now again, we'll do it at center ice. Face-off now by Dalton and McDonald. jumped out of the Norwood zone, but right back on the stick of Goddard, across the line. Into the zone, left point, gets it for Joe McDonald. Into the circle, broken up by Glazer. Glazer forces it into the left corner, but Joe McDonald gets it back. Turns around, looks to center it. Broken up by Glazer, back behind the net. McDonald gets it again. He'll skate around with it. This is Joe. In the circle, back for Bob in the right wing circle. Skating around, 27 seconds left of the power play. Top of the slot, tripped up is Joe Bob McDonald. That was penalty coming up here on Norwood. And here's the whistle. As again, the third two-man advantage here for Winthrop. At 13:25, they'll skate two-man up for 20 seconds. As this time, Tim Gordon goes for tripping. As he tripped up Bob McDonald about 20 feet out in front of the net. Let's see if Winthrop can do something with it here. I'll tell you, that McDonald line has a lot of stamina, Lee. They've been out there for an awful long time.
Well, of course, we've seen this often this year. They'll be out there for an awful long time for the remainder of the game. And this is where the other opposing coach has trouble, whether he wants to put his first line out there while they're out there, tire them out, or rest them when that line can do the work and do the job on another team.
Well, here we go. Play is dumped into the Winthrop end by Parkinson. Now back behind his own net, Steve Goddard. He'll clear it up ahead now for Bob McDonald, center ice. McDonald across the line, right wing pass for Burton. Takes his shot, cleared away. Left wing side up along the boards now for Goddard. Goddard holds it, 2 seconds left. Winthrop, Norwood gets the man back. Brugman now, left wing side. Goddard turns and fires through the screen just wide. Right wing side, Brugman. Can't control it. Lost it there to Parkinson. Parkinson and Joe McDonald tied up in the corner. We'll get a whistle. 1:04 left in the period. 59 seconds left on the power play here for the Vikings. 1-1 the score. As now we'll see Clark out against Bob McDonald. McDonald wins it back to Brugman, right point. Holds his shot, closes now, rolls it in front for McDonald. The backhander out in front for Joe. Couldn't handle, turns and shoots. Saved by Gullah. In his pads, he didn't even see it. And now it's pushed back in there, and we'll get a face-off. And 53 seconds remaining here in this second period of play. Face-off to the right of Mike Gullah. 48 seconds left on the power play. Bob McDonald gets the face-off, takes the shot, loose in front, and Gullah buries it. Do it again. Mike Gullah has been the story thus far for Norwood here tonight. Even though the score is tied at 1. Now on the face-off. Buck loose in the circle, taken by Dave Glazer. Can't get it out of the zone. Now it's poked out by Clark. Up at center ice. Roll back there for Joe McDonald. Rolls around in his zone. At center ice now. Has it, dumps it back for Brugman off the stick of Goddard. Left wing side, point checking very well is Clark. Now it's up to McDonald along the far wing. As Winthrop suddenly having a little trouble getting their power play organized here. Now it is controlled by Norwood's Dave Glazer in his own zone. Clears it up ahead to McTurnan to Clark now at center ice. He'll skate it in left wing side. Tries to center it for McTurnan, who is breaking in, but broken up by Goddard. Here comes Burke back. Into the zone, top of the slot. Takes the wrist shot, blocked there by Glazer. Into the left wing corner. Burke gets it back now in the circle. Rolls it right wing side. Burke with a drive to a screen. Save Gullah. 31. Penalty is over. Teams are full strength. 5 seconds left in the period. Now we'll get a face-off to the left, I guess, of Gullah. As John Fish out with Dave Fallon and Tom Shaughnessy. Third line out there right now for Norwood. McDonald will stay out with his troops for the remaining 5 seconds of play here. 1-1 the score. And here's the face-off now. Back in the corner, controlled by Parkinson. The period will end, and the teams will go to the locker room tied at 1. We've got new period.
This is the beginning of third period action.
calming effect, and whenever they get in trouble, they give him the puck, and he just calms things down. And Clark is out there at center with McTurnan and Louie. Bobby McDonald coming in, trying to get it to the brother. Over in front of the goal. And right off the face-off at 9 seconds, Gula is tested by Robert McDonald. Well, on that one, Gula went down early. He committed himself, but he anticipated that McDonald would take a low shot, and he did, and he made the save. A shot from the point off the glass. Right in front of the net, Joey McDonald bangs it wide. Winthrop really pressing the attack here in the opening minute of period 3. Norwood come out to center, Clark with McTurnan. McTurnan straddles the line. He gives it along the boards. McTurnan in there to cover a shot front, and Gardner makes the big stop. A drive off the target by Lane. And those deflections are proving of a menacing variety. The puck squirted loose there. Clark unimpeded from the point. Now Burke returns. Big burst of speed, takes a shot. Went right through the goal crease. Gardner takes the drive, and Gola picks that one off. Very reminiscent of the last year's game against Archbishop Williams. Norwood was involved with, Lance. It's almost a carbon copy. Well, the closeness of the game, 1-1, is getting to the fans. I'd like to direct this question to either Lance or Darby. I haven't seen too many of the games this year, but how would you say the speed of these two clubs match up against the teams in Division 1? How would you say the fastest club? I'd say Norwood are a faster team, but Winthrop is so composed. They're cool. They shoot it in front of the net with tape out there, along with Brugman on the right side, and of course, Blockius in that left wing. Blockius over the line, makes the shot. Brugman went in there against Glasser. They both tie it up. Brugman is trying to stuff it. Oh, he's there. And Gola held his ground. And Norwood have been beaten to the puck on numerous occasions here and have only played a minute and 16 seconds of period 3. Well, it's almost as if Winthrop can smell it. They're really very deliberate in the offensive zone now. They're not lashing themselves, and they just feel they're going to have to wear this Gula down. Let's face it, they're not going to blow a lot of goals by Mike Gula. The next goal, if and when it comes, will be a big one in the contest. A shot as Winthrop propel their third unit out there, Darby, the first time since period 1. Shaughnessy's out there. He takes a drive. Of course, the winner of this. Face off to the right now, Diaz. In the Viking zone. On the face-off, it is controlled by Shaughnessy. Back left point now to Gardner. Roller right out in front. Diaz makes the save as Fish nearly redirected it home. Of course, the winner of this game will meet Arlington. It will be Braintree versus Dedham. They have met a couple of times already this year. Face off now as Jackie Brugman and Palin on the face-off. Brugman wins it, skates it out of the zone. Cross-ice pass now to Masterson. Into the zone, left wing side, closes in the corner, holds the puck, centers it right across. Broken up there by Gordon, not out of the zone. McGee keeps it in, rolls it in right wing corner. It is Gordon back behind his own net, broken up there. On his front, Hoffman couldn't get a piece of it, and Gullah just pulled it in off the ice. As Jackie Brugman was on the doorstep, good pressure by the third line for Winthrop, and now we'll change troops again. First line's back out now. Everybody will start watching the clock now, especially those Winthrop fans. Actually, both the Norwood fans will be watching for the other reason. They want to keep Winthrop away from the goal. Now, on the face-off, it comes back behind Gullah, as it is Parkinson swinging around the wing board now for Lowry. Lowry up ahead for
broke right back into the Norwood zone, but back up center ice. Here comes Clark across the line. Right wing side, Lowry closing. Takes the backhander, save Diaz. Lowry, another shot. Broken up. Clark with a backhander, broken up again. Here comes Bob McDonald out of the zone. 3-on-2, left wing. Jackie Buck in the off wing. Closes. Out in front. Tries to take a shot off the side of the net. And Burke goes after left wing corner as he and Lowry fight for the puck. Now Bob McDonald over there, and the play is called. Face off to the right of Mike Gullo with 11:04 left in the hockey game. 2-1 Norwood.
As the game progresses down towards the end, Jerry, I think you might see Pulaski pull a move like he did last Sunday against Malden Catholic, using his power play unit out there when there's no power play at all. That started things rolling for them against Malden Catholic.
Pretty tape now with Brugman and Plakas against the Dalton line.
They're probably called the Dalton gang down in Norwood, but I didn't want to say it.
On the face-off, Kalagli pokes it along the far wing board, broken up though by Gordon. Kalagli lost his stick, kept in the zone by Danny Brugman. Rolls it in right wing side, broken up by Glazer and clears it all the way out. It doesn't go far enough for icing, but it does go back into the Winthrop zone. As Crombie races after it, no, we'll get the icing. That's a questionable call. Face-off back now in the Mustang zone. And it'll come to the left of Mike Gullo. As Bob Dalton will take the face-off here. With Freddie tape. No, Danny Brugman will take the drop in this face-off circle. On the drop, Brugman gets it right out in front. Gullo makes the save. And Brugman came cruising in. And Gullo took a swipe across the chest from Danny Brugman, and that one stung. And Gullo's a little angry. He thought there should have been a slashing call on Brugman, and I think there should have been a slashing call also.
That was justified by the goaltender Mike Gullo. His hand is shooting right now, but he'll be okay. He's back in the crease.
Now again, changes here as, let's see, is the Phelan line out there now for Norwood. Billy Pulaski keeps out the Brugman line. 10:45 left in the hockey game. On the face-off, controlled now by Parkinson of Norwood behind his own net. Swings it around up along the wing board now for Fish. He tries to get it out, can't. As it's poked at by Crombie in the left wing corner. Now Plakas and Lane fighting for it. Lane gets a piece of it up along the wing board. And it is cleared right back in the zone as Crombie just couldn't get to the blue line in time to keep the play onside. So we're going to drop it neutral ice now. Dave Phelan will take the face-off with Jackie Brugman now, who's out on the ice with Janako and Masterson. On the face-off, puck loose at center ice. Now Janako lost it in his skate as Fish takes it away. Fish on the right wing, rolls it in left wing side. In the zone, that looked offside. As Shaughnessy coming in, another drive, went wide of the net. Left wing corner, McGee up along the wing board now for Masterson. He is ridden off the play by Phelan, but got it up to Brugman. He couldn't hold it as Lane gets it right back into the Winthrop zone, right wing corner. Goddard and Fish fight for it. Goddard gets to it, clears it up along the board for Janako. Taken back there. In the zone by Phelan, up to the point to Lane. Lane rolls it back into the corner. Out in front, a quick poke shot there by Phelan. Got it to Shaughnessy, left wing corner now. He stick handles, centers it across the top of the slot, cleared out by Janako. Back into the Norwood end. As racing after now Parkinson with Masterson, the forechecker. Getting a piece of it was Brugman, but not enough, as now it is Shaughnessy up on the left wing at center ice. Shaughnessy across the line, crisscrosses, top of the slot, drops it back, but broken up by Jackie Brugman, kept in by Fish. Now the left wing corner for Phelan, left point now. Gordon draws to a screen, nearly deflected wide. Now it's taken right on the stick of Janako, and the official went flying as he tried to get out of the way of a clearing shot. And it's icing here on Winthrop. 9:21 left in the hockey game. Lead 2-1 Norwood, and of course it's getting to that time where Winthrop has got to start thinking about pulling out all the stops.
I think right now he should put out a power play line out there. Denny Brugman and Bob and Joe McDonald, along with Jackie Burke and Steve Goddard. That seemed to get things rolling for them against Baldwin Catholic, and might do that here tonight. Now play is back in, knocked down by Jackie Burke. Tries that man to pass, that's with Bob McDonald breaking in. Hold off the play, penalty coming up here. Tim Gordon going off, full whistle, and there's the play. Yeah, a holding call here on Tim Gordon as he held Bob McDonald, who was breaking down the slot. And now, the Vikings with that man advantage, Lee. So now we'll see that power play. Time of the penalty comes at 5:53, and now Winthrop with a chance to tie it up here. They trail 2-1. So it is Bob McDonald, Jack Burke, and Joe McDonald. It is Jackie Burke controlling left circle now. Controls it in the circle, comes in front, broken up by Clark, but taken now by Joe McDonald. Gets it back left point, Goddard. Goddard holds it back into the circle now for Bob McDonald. Locked off his stick by Clark and cleared out now. To McKinnon, back to Clark, back to McKinnon, broken up at the blue line by Brugman, but taken back there by Clark. It's kicked around, no one controls. Now it's finally taken by Brugman at center ice. Danny Brugman looking for the opening, gets it to Bob McDonald on the right wing side, breaking it up, right back checking by McKinnon. Goddard has it back at center ice across the line. Right wing pass now for Jackie Burke, drops it back to the point to Brugman. Rolls it back into the corner, but right on the stick of Parkinson. Can't clear it up. Brugman keeps it in at the right point. He gets a piece of it again, rolls it right back into the right corner. But Lane right there, sweeps it around, looks for an opening, and he can't do it as Brugman gets it top of the slot. Kicks it around, lost it in the circle as it's taken away by McKinnon. He and Brugman tied up, dug out by Bob McDonald. Lost it over the far board by Parkinson. Now back to Brugman. Back to Jack Burke. To Joe McDonald closing. Left wing side by Curtis. Blocked by Gala. What a save. Top of the slot. Kicked in by Brugman. Left wing side Joe McDonald. Lost it in a skate lane. Taken back by Clark and he'll skate it out. Ahead for McKinnon. Center ice. Drops it back. Left wing side. Dragging the puck around. Lost it there to Brugman. 14 seconds left in the power play. Here comes Brugman across. Left wing side, breaks it into the corner. Has it, centers it out in front, broken up, and somebody just threw some debris out on the ice. And it comes all the way back down. Icing here, the call. And that is disgusting. Somebody just threw something out on the ice. I don't even know what it was. It looks like it might have been a beer bottle or something. And 7:33 remain in the hockey game as Norwood leads by a score of 2-1. And for some reason, year after year... Now in the Norwood zone as it is Paul Plakus out with Freddie Tape and Denny Brugman up along the near wing board. Kept in on a backhand by Crombie, back behind the net. Plakus centers it out in front, score! Freddie Tape! Paul Plakus. And we may be here a while. Ties it up at 2 at the 7:41 mark of this third period of play. Paul Plakus on a perfect center ice pass to Freddie Tape, and we're even at 2. I'll tell you, Freddie Tape really made that play. Instead of raising his hand and knocking the puck down, which would have been a whistle call because he tried to push it ahead, he just controlled himself and just kind of let it fall, then passed it over, and the score was made. You're listening to Eastern Massachusetts quarterfinal hockey over WESX in Salem, Massachusetts. Jerry Greenberg along with Lee Stacy from Boston Garden, where it is now tied up at 2 at the 7:41 mark of this third period of play, and it's all new. Now Jackie Brugman out with Bob Masterson and Joe Giannaco for Winthrop against Dave Phelan with John Fish and Tom Shaughnessy. On the drop now, it is poked ahead by Brugman, trying to get it up to Masterson, couldn't do it.
Into the zone now, Fish, left wing side, has it in a circle. Leaves it there for Shaughnessy. Fish back behind the net, takes the shot, score! They get it right back. John Fish picks up that goal at 7:53, only 12 seconds later. And that's the potency of that third line of Norwood, Lee. Tremendous work there by Fish that time, and Norwood just coming back at Winthrop, and now Winthrop has to come back and tie things up again with 7:07 remaining. And this place is rocking. 3-2 now, Norwood leading with 7:07 left in the hockey game. Bobby McDonald against Billy Clark at center ice. As now we got more debris out on the ice. They gave the goal to Dave Phelan, not John Fish. On the face-off now, Bob McDonald tries to skate it in, lost it there to Parkinson, but it's kept in at the blue line. Now it's poked out center ice. Poked ahead for Lowry. Too far, got it, breaks it up. Poked off his stick by Clark, back for McTurnan. Kicks it into the zone offside. And it's getting tough to hear those whistles, Lee. So that goal went to Dave Phelan, the senior, from John Fish and Tom Shaughnessy. Now back the other way. Bob McDonald into the zone for Joe McDonald, closing left side. Shot in the pads of Gullah, and he holds on. And we'll get a face-off now to the right of Mike Gullah. 3-2, Norwood leading, 6:41 left in the hockey game. On the face-off, Bob McDonald gets it back to Joe McDonald. Top of the slot, tripped up, penalty coming up here on Norwood. As Joe McDonald was sliced out about 20 feet out in front of the net by Billy Clark. And that's one skier that Norwood couldn't afford to lose. Clark off for tripping here at 8:24 of the third period. So now Winthrop with the man advantage. And the penalty killers will be Lowry and McTurnan out there, along with Gordon and Lane. That's the 10th penalty on Norwood here tonight. On the face-off now, it is Joe McDonald controlling left corner out in front. Bob McDonald shot save. Rebound loose in front. And cleared away by Lowry. He gets it out of the zone. Again, tremendous goaltending by Gullah. Now, stealing it in his own McTurnan. Back behind it. That hits the goal pipe and hits it hard. He is banged up, but he gets up now as the puck comes back in. To the Norwood zone, a shot. Great close save by Gullah off a shot of Bob McDonald from the right point. Now back into the left corner. Lane sweeps it around the wing board. It will be kept in by Brugman, right side. Has it now, top of the circle, rolls it in, right side. Bob McDonald takes the shot, tripped up. And coming out to make the save is Gullah. And I'll tell you, some tremendous pressure now by both teams. 6 minutes to go in the game, 54 seconds left on the power play. This has turned out to be a dandy. Now we'll see Parkinson back out there replacing Lane. Bob McDonald stays out. Brugman at the right point, got it at the left. As McTurnan will take this face-off. On the drop, it is controlled by Jackie Burke. Back to the right point, Brugman. Back down to shoot for Burke in the corner. Out to the circle of Bob McDonald. Checked off the play. Controlled now by McTurnan. He'll skate it out of the zone. On the left wing side. Deeks by one man. Into the zone. Right out in front. Poked in on Diaz, and he buries it. McTurnan really had another short-handed effort. taking his lumps all year, Lee. 5:45 left in the hockey game. 39. And Diaz is sitting up. Norwood leading, 5:45 remaining in the hockey game, 39 seconds left here on the Billy Clark penalty of Norwood. And now Diaz will just skate around a bit just to see how he feels, and we'll be set to go here. Talking things over with Steve Goddard right now. Bill Falaska comes back to the bench along with his trainer. We've had a bit of a breather here for these teams. They were going hot and heavy, and now they had this chance to take a rest. So we'll see the face-off now to the right of Ray Diaz. Winthrop on a power play for the next 39 seconds. As McTiernan and Lowry out there for Norwood on the penalty killing unit. As we're set to go now. McDonald will take the face-off here with McTiernan to the right of Diaz. On the face-off, it is controlled by Joe McDonald in his own zone. Wheels it around, now skates it back up ahead for Bob McDonald. Has the puck, handles it, kicks it into the zone, right wing side, takes the shot, just went wide. Up along the near wing board now. Lowry has it and bangs it off the dasher and clears it the length of the ice. Back behind the net now, taken by Brugman. Brugman looks to clear the round, does on the left wing side now. Starting up along the left wing board is Jackie Burke on the off wing. Lost it at center ice as McTiernan poked it away. He lost it and turned to Brugman. Wheels around in his own zone. 7 seconds left on the power play. Up at center ice now. Taking it is McTiernan. Poked off the stick by Bob McDonald. But now Glazer got a piece of it and it was deflected into the crowd, so we'll get a face-off and neutral ice. Penalty is over. Teams are at full strength. 5:06 left in the hockey game. Norwood 3, Winthrop 2. As now Freddie Tape comes back out with Plakas and Brugman up front. Galagly and Crombie back against the Dalton line of Hassenfuss and Greg Sullivan with Glazer and Gordon back on the point. Here's a knuckleball into the zone off the stick of Galagly. Comes in along the left wing corner, kept in there by Crombie, but now right back out of the zone by Hassenfuss. Up at center ice, stopped by Crombie, back into the zone of Norwood. Taken there by Gordon. Clears it up along the left wing. Ahead for Greg Sullivan. Into the zone for Dalton. Too far. Crombie pokes it right back in on Gullah. He lets it go back behind the net. Icing waved off here. Gordon sweeps it around the wing board now for Greg Sullivan. Too far ahead. Stopped there by Galagly. Waits for his team to clear. It'll be offside as Brugman had yet come out of the zone. So we'll get a face-off back at neutral ice with 4:35 left in the hockey game. And the teams change up here again, or at least Norwood will change, as they'll send off a Dave Phelan line with Tom Shaughnessy and John Fish. Brugman will take the face-off now outside the Winthrop blue line along the far boards. As we wait for the drop, here it comes on the face-off, kicked around left wing side. Shaughnessy backhands one into the zone, right on the stick of Galagly. Looks to get it out, can't do it as Phelan keeps it in. Now Galagly gets it, sweeps it around the wing board. Stopping it is Fish. He pokes it in the circle, but right on the stick of Crombie. Up ahead for Tape. It comes back into the zone off the stick of Lane, offside. And we'll get a face-off back in neutral ice again. Left in the game. As now Phelan and Brugman will take the drop outside the Winthrop line along the near boards. Here it comes on the drop. It is controlled now by Parkinson. Rolls it right back on the Winthrop end, back behind the net, taking it. Setting it off the side of the net was Fish. Nearly went home. Now along the left wing. It is Goddard, rather Crombie, tripped up by Fish. Another penalty coming up here on Norwood. Tripping penalty coming up here. That'll be hooking, one of the two. At 10:55, as Fish goes off here. And again, Winthrop has the man advantage. That is their 11th power play opportunity of the night. And they've only scored one power play goal. Now it is Billy Clark back with McKernan as the penalty killers, with Lane and Gordon on a face-off. The puck rolls into the Norwood zone along the far board, taken by Gordon. He clears it right back, stopped at his own blue line by Brugman. Cross ice now to Goddard. Goddard brings it back into the zone. Left wing side in the circle. Works it deep back to Joe McDonald in the circle. Cross ice intercepted by Clark and cleared out by Lane as he got it back into the Winthrop end. Brugman has it now back behind his own net. Forecheck over there. McKernan. Brugman wheels away from him. Starts back left wing side. Has it. Leaves it there for McDonald. McDonald, that's center ice. Across the line. Right wing pass for Burke. Close a shot save. Rebound left in front. Cleared away. Good pass save by Gullah. Brugman pokes it right back into the corner. Gordon looks to get it out. Can't as Joe McDonald gets it back. Turns and fires. Score! Woo! Power play goal for Joe McDonald. And it again is tied up. Time of the goal, 11:39 of the third period. I don't know how much more this I can take. This has been some hockey game. So again, we're tied up this time at 3. Joey McDonald picked up the goal. Now it is Bob Dalton against Freddie Tape at center ice. Face-off, controlled by Glazer, rolls it in right wing side, stopped there by Goddard in his own zone, tries to get it out, does. At center ice, here comes Freddie Tate. That center ice right wing pass into the zone, offside was Danny Brugman. So we're going to drop it neutral ice. 3:11 left here in regulation now, as we have to start thinking about overtime. Well, I think my dinner got cold tonight, folks. Face-off now at center ice. Crombie rolls it in the zone, delayed offside here, and we'll get another whistle and a face-off back at neutral ice. 3:07 left in the hockey game. And now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, as neither team is going to want to make a mistake. Looks like those refs during those delays to that first line of Winthrop really helped Winthrop's cause here in the closing moments of the third period. On the face-off now at center ice, it is Danny Brugman controlling. Kicks it around at center ice now, wheels back into his own zone, avoids one check of Fish. There's the Balaam line out there now for Norwood. Now it takes a wrist shot in on Gullah. He just holds on with the glove. And the save is made on the face-off to the right now of Gullah. 2:54 left now in regulation. And should we end in regulation tied, we'll go to a 10-minute sudden death. Face-off now, Phelan and Brugman on the drop, comes right back, Blakers a drive, glove save. That one was hopping around. Blakers didn't really have all of it, but he had it point blank in on Gullah. And again, Brugman will take the face-off to the left of Gullah. And this time, I think it's Jeff Lane's going to take the face-off. No, he isn't. And got here?
Interesting battle going on. It's a face-off position between Freddie Tape and Tommy Shaughnessy for Norwood, just inside the crease area.
Jockeying for position. Now Phelan in the air with Brugman. They wheel around here, and he can't come off the ice. Here we go. On the drop, kicked on into the circle. No one controls. Now taken by Fish. Clears it out left wing side for Shaughnessy. Breaking across the line. Rolls one in on Diaz. Clears it away left wing corner. Broken up. And here comes Goddard back for Winthrop. At center ice. Pulls the puck across the line. Tripped up. Pulled down. No call. Puck is loose. Now controlled by Shaughnessy. Here comes Norwood back. 3-on-2. Shaughnessy across the blue line. Left wing pass. Closing. Parkinson. Shot save. Diaz. And a face-off to the right. Ray Diaz, as he came up with a crucial save right there. Now both teams will change again. We'll see the big line. No, the tape line will stay out. But the Clark line comes out here as they get the face-off in the Winthrop zone. For Winthrop, Bob McDonald with Jackie Burke and Joe McDonald. McGee back on one of the points with Steve Goddard. Right wing circle broken up. Pass was behind Burke. And now it is Gordon back out of the zone for Norwood. On the left wing side, winds up from the line and just went wide. Up along the right point, Lowry will keep it in, rolls it back into the corner. Lost it there as it's kicked out of the zone by Joe McDonald. Racing after the puck now, Jackie Burke with Gordon. Let's see who gets it. It's waved off, nicely waved off. Lane breaks up the play in front of the slot as he gets it up to McTiernan. Up now to Clark. Across the line, left wing side, rolls a shot in front, block. 144 left the back there to throw screen, broken up. Here's Lowry with a shot in off the side of the net, and it's tied up. I think it's up on the string. No. The faceoff will not come outside the line. The faceoff will come to the left of Ray Diaz. 1:39 left in regulation. We're tied at 3. This is what Eastern Massachusetts hockey is all about. We're tied at 3 here. 1:39 left in regulation. Dalton out now against Freddie Tate. To go here, Brugman will take the face-off, up to Freddie Tape. With Dalton to the left of Diaz. On the drop, comes to the near corner in the zone. Brugman wheels back behind his own net, looks to get it around the board, intercepted in the zone by Greg Sullivan. Back to Dalton, the shot just kicked away. Into the left wing corner now. Controlled by Goddard, tries to get it out, lost it in his zone to Austin Bush. And he gets it up to the left corner. Shot through screen. Right out in front. Austin Bush didn't see it coming by him. Left wing corner. Goddard tries to right up in the corner. Now coming up along the board is Plakas, but he digs it out. And it was back in and right across the goal mouth. 1:12 left. Now, Greg Sullivan tied up by Crombie in the left wing corner. We got a face-off now to the right of Ray Diaz. And that has been tremendous pressure there, Lee, on Ray Diaz by Norwood as they're pulling out all the stops here. 1:08 left in regulation. Tape stays out, this time against Dave Phelan's line, and that means that Bob McDonald will bring over the Joe McDonald line with him. Against Dave Phelan to the right of Diaz. And now quickly, Billy Clark jumped over the board. No one saw him do it. He got right back over. Now, taking the puck is Shaughnessy, left wing corner, left of the minute to go in the period. Back behind the net, McGee tied up over there. Norwood trying to keep it alive in his zone. Now, Burke pokes it out. Center ice lost it to Parkinson. Tries to roll it back in, delayed offside. And we'll get the face-off at center ice now. As Don Wheeler is trying to get his first troops out there, but he couldn't do it in time. Now he sends out Clark. 48 seconds left here in regulation. Here we go, on the drop. That's center ice. Poked around. Who's got the puck? Burke gets it, kicks it around to center ice. Lost it there. Good Clark poked off his stick by Gunner, but now Lowry has it. Right wing side. Into the zone. Stopped by McGee. McGee looking for an opening. He knocked it out center ice. Poked away by Joe McDonald. Back into the Norwood zone. Back behind his net, Parkinson. Bob McDonald, a forechecker. Parkinson starts back left side. Gets it up ahead for McTurnan. McTurnan. Long pass up at center ice. Stopped there by Joe McDonald. Now it's taken by Clark. 21 seconds left. Here comes Joe McDonald back. Right wing pass broken up just inside the line by McTurnan. Back out at center ice. Joe McDonald rings it back in, but Bob hasn't cleared the zone. And we're going to face off at neutral ice. 14 seconds left here. And more, it looks like we're going to go to sudden death. Why are you laughing, Lee? We have to think about poor Max. He's got to get up early tomorrow. Billy Clark now at center ice, taking the face-off with Danny Brugman. 14 seconds left on the drop. Puck loose at center ice. Here comes McTurnan into the zone. Gets it in for Clark. Top of the foot. Broken off his stick by Cape. And clears it all the way down the ice. Racing after Blake is 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Overtime. For both teams, the first line will be out there. 1.5 minutes now. Sudden death overtime. Wondering what happens if they go this 7.5 without scoring, what they will do. Sometimes they play a couple of minutes. I've seen that happen before. We've done that. We've come into town for about 2 minutes of hockey after they went to something like 2 or 3 sudden deaths the night before, and they just ran out of time. Well, here we go. Billy Clark with Jim McTurnan, Chris Lowry, Mike Parkinson, Jeff Lane for Norwood. Bob McDonald, Joe McDonald, Jackie Burke, Steve Goddard, and Kevin McGee for the Winthrop Vikings. As we get set to go here, we're in overtime. Sudden death. First goal wins it. Here we go. It could happen in about a matter of 20 seconds. It could take the entire overtime period. On the face-off, it is controlled now by Bob McDonald. Races in, right wing side for Jack Burke. Takes the shot, looks, they've got up, and the rebound comes right out in front. He buries that. So immediately, Winthrop trying to get on the rush here, and they put the pressure on. Face-off will come in the Mustang zone to the left of Mike Gutta. Bobby McDonald against Billy Clark on this face-off now. On the face-off now. It comes into the corner, controlled now. Behind the net by Parkinson. The forechecker is Bob McDonald. Parkinson skates it up himself. That's center ice. Looks to headman a pass. Now will wind up and take a long drive in on Diaz. It takes a bounce off the back dash, and now McGee swings it around the wingboard for Joe McDonald. Clears it up ahead for Bob McDonald. 2-on-1 with Jackie Burke. But Burke gets it in too far ahead of him. On the right wing side goes after it now. The corner centers it out in front. Cleared away, but not out. Puck is loose out in front. A scramble. Puck is finally buried by Mike Gilla. As there was a tremendous scramble in front of the net with Jackie Burke and Bob McDonald out in front trying to put it home. So we'll get another face-off now in the Norwood end. As Bob Dalton comes out with Greg Sullivan and Dave Assenfuss against Freddie Tate, Paul Flakus, and Danny Brugman. Face-off now, as we said, coming to the left of Mike Gilla. Brugman will take the drop with Dalton on the face-off. Dalton wins it, rolls it back behind the net now for Tim Gordon. Gordon, his defenseman, around the wingboard now for Hassenfuss. He wheels away from one of the checkers. Clears it all the way up center ice, deflected, knocked down there by Brugman, and he pushed it ahead with the glove hand, so we're going to face off back at center ice. 6:41 left in the sudden death overtime. And neither team wants to take a penalty right now, Lee, because it could be disastrous. Now on the drop, that's center ice. Brugman rolls it in right wing side. Poking it around is Gordon. He couldn't get it out, now does, but right on the stick of Cromie, he lost it there. It's Rick Sullivan. Sullivan lost it in a good back check by Danny Brugman and took it away. Skates it in left wing side. Works it into the corner. Closes back behind it. It comes around the right side. Tries to center it. Penalty coming up here on Rick Sullivan. And there's the whistle. Tripping penalty as he dumped Danny Brugman. So that penalty comes with 6:19 remaining in their sudden death at 1:41. That should be 1:11, not 1:41. As we went 7.5 minutes in the overtime. Now Winthrop with the man advantage, but Norwood controls up along the wingboard. Clark looks to golf it out of his zone and does. Now Goddard racing back into his own end after the puck. Has it, swings it around the wingboard up ahead, left side for Joe McDonald. McDonald lost it, a poke check in his zone. Billy Clark has it, turns and fires. Cleared away by Diaz in the left wing corner. Brugman has it along the near wingboard. Clears it up ahead for Jackie Burke. Burke, cross-side pass. Joe McDonald into the zone. Left wing circle, poked off the stick by Lane. Run at by Lane. And tied up along the wingboard. That was very close to being a charging penalty, Lee. 54 seconds left in the power play. Face off to the right now of Mike Gullah. As Bobby McDonald will take the face off here with Clark. And now I guess somebody's got to tie his skate over there. You know, another one of these stall tactics sometimes. As it looked like it was Parkinson tying his boot, and now we're all set. Bobby McDonald will take the drop here with Billy Clark in the circle. Controlled by the Vikings. Got it, left point. Pokes it into the corner now. Along the circle of Bob McDonald, but Joe McDonald closes out in front, broken up, and cleared the left wing corner. Back up Bob McDonald, the left point to Goddard. Goddard holds it now. Closes. Back to Bob McDonald in the circle. Left side. Holds it. Out in front, but Joe McDonald back here went over the crossbar. Up along the wingboard. Now taken by McKinnon in his own end. Back behind the net. Half a minute to go on the power play. Billy Clark skates it out of his zone now. Has the puck broken up by Joe McDonald and takes it back. With Burke on the right wing, he gets the pass. Closes. That's the back for Bob McDonald was broken up. And here comes McKinnon. Back all alone. McKinnon across the line, tries to get around Goddard, rags the puck around, holds the puck there for Clark. He lost it to Bob McDonald. McDonald up to Jackie Burke. Into the zone. Tries to get around the defense, can't do it. It's broken up by Parkinson and cleared back out center ice. Brugman takes it. Rifles a shot back in over the crossbar. Penalty is over. Teams are full strength. Gordon backhands one out to center ice there. Taken by Goddard of Winthrop. Rolls it in right wing side. Offside. 4:41 left in sudden death. 3-3. Winthrop right now carrying the offense, but they're going to have to watch out. Norwood just waiting for that opportunity. And of course, it only takes one mistake for Norwood to come down and poke it home past Ray Diaz. Plenty tape out now, along with Danny Brugman and Paul Flakus against Bob Dalton. Face off outside the Norwood blue line. face-off now. It is controlled by Dalton. Left wing pass. Closing is Rick. Over the drive. Went high and wide. Right wing side. Plakas forces the puck back deep behind his own net. Looks to clear out. Nearly lost it in the zone, but now McGee controls. Up along the wing board for Brugman. He dumps it out center ice. Knocked down there by Tim Gordon. He'll turn and back it up to center ice to Dalton. Dalton lost control of it to Brugman, and now it's back into the Norwood zone offside. Looks like both teams have settled down here a bit, Lee. Now Dalton will take the drop with Brugman at neutral ice, right in front of the Winthrop bench below us. 4:19 left in the sudden death. On the face-off now, controlled by Dalton. He'll backhand it in on Ray Diaz. Clears it to the right wing corner, taken by Goddard, back behind the net. Nearly lost it there to Hassenfuss. Now it is McGee clearing it up left wing side, Paul Plakas. Plakas with tape on his right. Plakas into the zone. Has it in left wing corner. Centers it across the goal mouth. And Danny Brugman couldn't connect. And here comes Greg Sullivan clearing it out, but stopped at the center ice area by McGee. Nearly lost it to Dalton. Now it's forced back into the Winthrop end. Brugman wheels around. Clears it up left wing side to Plakas. Plakas lost it on a poke check there by Dalton. Here comes Hassenfuss back. Winds up with a hard drive, and a glove save made by Diaz. Clears it to the back dasher. McGee has it. He is bumped hard off the play there by Hassenfuss, and now play is called. We're going to face off to the left of Ray Diaz with 3:37 left in the sudden death overtime. We're tied up at 3 here, and we'll get the face-off now with, I think, the third line failing out there against Bob McDonald's line. Waiting for the face-off to the left of Diaz on the drop, controlled by Joe McDonald up to Jackie Burke at center ice. He's all alone. Comes across right wing side, tries to work deep. Backhand pass right on the stick of Shaughnessy. Can't clear it out. It's kept in. Joe McDonald right in front of the blue line. Left side pass to Burke, cleared out. As Fish got a piece of it, cleared it out center ice. Now dumped right back in. Off the stick of Goddard. Now right on the stick of Parkinson. Looks to clear it off the wing board. Does. Up at center ice for Shaughnessy. But intercepted back by Bob McDonald. Back into the zone. Can't get it by the defense. As Parkinson breaks it up and he skates back at center ice. Across the line, left wing side. Stiff handling it. Lost it there to Joe McDonald in the zone. 3 minutes to go in the overtime. Shaughnessy kicks it out in front. Whelan takes the shot. Penalty coming up here on Winthrop. We got a hooking penalty coming up here on Winthrop. I think. Let's see. Hooking is the call, and leaving is Steve Goddard. Goes now at the 4:35 mark. So now Norwood with a golden opportunity on the power play here with Billy Clark out there on the face-off. It is Danny Brugman winning it, but not getting it out. Here's the shot from the point. Hits the side on that. Almost looked like it went in. Jeff Lane hit the side on that. Now the puck is dumped by Kevin McGee as it comes in on Gullah. He'll let it stay there as Parkinson in his own zone. Pretty tape the forechecker. Tape, McGee, Brugman, and Crombie, the penalty killers. Now back in the left wing corner. Lane around the wing board for Parkinson. Norwood on the power play. One of the few they've had tonight. Now up on the right wing. Rifle into their zone. Not into their zone as Lowry couldn't get it in. Now Crombie just dumps it right back in to the Norwood end. Parkinson swings it around the wing board now for Lane. Lane up on the right wing now for Lowry. With Clark. Lowry across the line. Dumps it back for Clark. Clark has it top of the front. Right out in front. Cleared away by Diaz. With McKinnon on the doorstep. And the play is tied up in the left wing corner. Good play that time by Ray Diaz. Staying right with the puck. And you're listening to all this Eastern Massachusetts hockey at 20 minutes to 12 over WESX in Salem, Massachusetts. Danny Brugman with Bob Dalton on the face-off now to the right of Ray Diaz. 43 seconds left on the power play here for Norwood. Waiting for the drop. On the face-off, Dalton wins it. He'll skate around with it in the circle. Works it deep into the corner. Back behind the net. Tries to center it off the side of the net. He's checked off the play. Now taking it is Brugman. He can't get it out as it's kept in by Tim Gordon along the far boards into the corner. Has to push after. Pokes at it. Missed it. Crombie misses it. Now he wheels around and finds it but can't get it out. Kept in right point. Plays her a shot. As it went in right in on a bouncer off of Greg Sullivan off the sideboard, and Diaz made the save again. 20 seconds left on the power play. 1:45 left here in sudden death. As now Don Wheeler sends out Phelan to try and get this unit to try and do something here. Phelan on the face-off, gets it back left corner, shot through a screen, knocked down by Brugman. Coming back, Parkinson rolls it in front, now goes back behind the net. Phelan has it, left wing corner. Turns it, top of the slot, right on the stick of Brugman, he'll clear it. And that'll do it for the power play. Back behind the net now, taken by Parkinson. 1.5 minutes to go in the game. And in sudden death here, now breaking it back. Phelan, right wing side, ridden off the play by Crombie. These are tired hockey players out here now. Phelan and McGee fighting in the right wing corner, and they tie it up, and we're going to face off to the left of Ray Diaz with 1:15 left. And it's tied up at 3.
Jerry, I'm not too sure about this rule, but isn't it in the rule books, or it was at least last year, if a game goes 3 overtime periods, they stop the game and start a new one all over again the next day. I thought that was the case last year in a Boston game in the tournament play.
Well, that is news to me. I thought that you just continue play. No, anyway, we're not going to worry about that right now. Here's Goddard. Back winging around the wingboard now for Jackie Burke. We got a minute left. Up at center ice. Here's Clark back into the zone. Left wing side. Rolls one in on Diaz. Makes a glove save and pulls in the rebound. 59 seconds showing on the clock. Face off in the Winthrop zone. See if they have it in the program about the rules. Now face off. Controlled by McGee of Winthrop. Swings it around behind his own net. Going after Lowry in the right wing corner. He is checked off the play by Goddard, but centers it out in front. Nearly deflected home. Push loose. That's cleared away by Jackie Burke. Billy deflected in off of Winthrop's stick. Now here's Steve Goddard along the right wing to Burke in his own zone. Wheels around. Looks to get it out of the zone. Does. Poked off his stick. Now races after it along with Gordon back into the Norwood end. Puck loose along the wingboard taken by McDonald. Centers it out in front off the circle there. McGee will keep it in. Rolls it in front. Blocked by Clark. Up ahead now for McKinnon. Into the zone. Left wing side. Drops it back for Clark. He's ridden off the play. Puck tied up. Right out in front. Yes, out in front. Lowry throws on his shot. He had it up in net. Here's the bouncer. Right in again on Diaz, and he buries it. Oh my goodness. Norwood pull it. They had an opportunity to win it. As Lowry was on the doorstep, the puck floated right out on the stick, and he fanned on it. Face off to the right of Ray Diaz with 13 seconds left in the overtime. Billy Clark stays out with McKinnon and Lowry. Lowry got his head down. He's tired, and he's also a very frustrated hockey player. And then Ray Diaz, after that, made a pretty good save on a shot from outside. Now, Danny Brugman comes out with Paul Plakas and Freddie Tape. Wheeler's going to keep Clark's line out there right now on the face-off. Controlled by no one. Comes up along the wingboard. Brugman tied up in the corner. Clark tries to dig it out. Now, McTiernan lost it over there. Clark gets it. Backhander. Clear away. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Guess what? Now the question is, what are we going to do? Well, here we go again. Looks like another 7.5-minute overtime period after a 5-minute break. Tired hockey players, and we'll see how long they can last here. We'll come out, Billy Clark with Chris Lowry and Jim McTiernan against Bob McDonald, Joe McDonald, and Jackie Burke, starting this the second sudden-death overtime period. And we're just about set as Bob McDonald, Winthrop, skating from right to left. This fifth period of play, you might say, as it's posted up on the Garden scoreboard. And we had some more debris on the ice. Of course, the ice is taking a beating here as they haven't made a new surface. And now I guess they're gonna put down some snow on a rut about 25 feet out in front of Ray Diaz. And they'll try and flatten that out. McDonald overskates the puck at center ice, and Billy Clark gets it back, rolls it in left wing side into the corner, back behind the net. Steve Goddard has it behind his own net, swings it around the far wing board up for Jackie Burke. Forced off the play, goes rolling back behind his net, off along the glass for Joe McDonald. Past him, but not out of the zone as it's kept in by Billy Clark with Chris Lowry, right wing corner, closes, back behind the net, comes around left side. Out in front, shot, hit the plate, comes out as McTiernan hit the goal pipe. Way back behind the net, Goddard clears it up now for Joe McDonald. Up along the wing board, kept in by Lane. Back now for Clark on the off wing and taken away by Joe McDonald. Long lead pass over the stick of Jackie Burke. He didn't see it coming. And now it is Parkinson clearing it back up center ice, intercepted there by Bob McDonald. He'll roll it back in for Jackie Burke. Left wing side, Joe McDonald closing drive. Just wide. Didn't miss by much. On the right wing side, the puck cleared all the way back out and all the way back into the Winthrop end. Here we come. Goddard up on the left wing now for Joe McDonald. Cross ice pass into the zone for Burke. Burke drops it back in the left circle for Joe McDonald. In the circle, broken up there by Lane. Headman's the pass now for Bob Dalton out on the ice. On the left wing for Hassenfoot. Racing McGee for the puck. Hassenfoot knocked down along the back dasher. As now the puck loose back behind the net. Goddard lost it there along the wing board as Dalton has it. Now McDonald clears it out center ice. Taken back by Glazer. Puts it right back on the stick of Dalton. Left wing pass into the zone. Broken up by McDonald. These kids are tired now. They're missing on a lot of passes. McDonald up at center ice now. Rolls it in. Right wing side into the right wing corner past Gullah. Danny Brugman out on the ice now, over skates it. Both teams in the middle of changes. Now Dalton back center ice. Has it across the blue line. Left wing pass, play offside. I'll tell you, that shot by Jim McTiernan just rang the pipe, but that's how close it was. I was just thinking it's fortunate for Winthrop that Freddie Chafe and Bill Galaglia are in uniform tonight. Without those two, they'd be in serious trouble as far as bench strength. Face-off now outside the Winthrop blue line as Dave Phelan out against Danny Brugman. On the face-off, it is kicked around, controlled by Jeff Lane, rolls it in the Winthrop zone, got it right there to stop it out for Plakas. That's center ice. Backhand pass intercepted by Phelan. Right wing pass into the zone for Fish. Back to Phelan. In the top of the slot, closes. Broken up and a great play by Danny Brugman. As he just stopped the pass, and here comes Plakas back on the right wing. Cross the line. Poked off their stick there by Parkinson along their wing board. Plakas goes flying. Puck comes up center ice. Phelan, left wing pass. Into the zone for Shaughnessy. Broken up by Crombie. Clears it back center ice. Taken back there by Parkinson. Back in to the Winthrop end. Now it is again controlled by Goddard. 5:13 left in the second overtime. Goddard looking for an opening. Gets it into the zone. Right wing side. Picks up steam. He is written off the play. Puck right across the goal mouth as Goddard passed it across. Here's Fish trying to get it up, but Crombie keeps it in. Blocked there by Phelan. Comes out center ice right on the stick of Goddard. Now it is Winthrop's turn to put on the pressure. Puck rolls in to the Mustang zone. It is Parkinson fighting tape for the puck. Back behind the net. Parkinson up along the wing board for Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy up to center ice to fail. And these kids are just skating on pure here's a shot by Shaughnessy. Penalty coming up here. I don't believe this call. Penalty coming up here on Paul Plakas. What a call. That was a perfect hip check. I just totally disregarded it as a hip check. And all of a sudden we got a penalty. Billy Pulaski beside himself. He can't believe that call. Incredible call. Plakas off for tripping here. At the 2:28 mark. Touching the 2:27 mark. That was a tough call, Lee. Very tough indeed. That was a good hip check that time by Paul Plakas. That'll be Winthrop's fifth penalty of the game, and it's the first time that it's in fact the first time Winthrop, although Norwood's been on the power play since back in the second period. Well, that was Brian Crombie going off, not Paul Plakas. Tough call. Well, here we go. Billy Clark with Chris Lowry and Jim McTurnan. And I got a feel it's do or die right now for one of these teams. Ray Diaz comes over, wants an equipment repair. And again, a very logistical delay for Winthrop. 4:33 left here in the second sudden death overtime period. We're nearing the bewitching hour. We're setting a personal record. I haven't done a game this late in a long time. I don't think I've ever done a game this late. You may have to go with Lee and I singing the anthem tonight, Max. Here we go. Face-off outside the Winthrop blue line is Danny Brugman out with McGee, Freddie Tape, and Steve Goddard, the penalty killers, against Billy Clark and his line on a face-off. It is controlled by Lowry. Now taken by Danny Brugman at center ice across the line. He's dumped hard off the play by Gordon. As now it is controlled by Clark back to Glazer, back to one of the points with Gordon. Glazer has it, rolls it in the zone to the right of Diaz, and it is controlled by Goddard, and he clears it the length of the ice. Gull leaves it there for Gordon back behind his own net. Coming up along the left side in the zone deep is Gordon. Up along the right wing, intercepted by Goddard. Loses a drive, out wide. Back behind the net, up along the right side. Left side now, I should say. Glazer comes up center ice, pass for Clark. Into the off wing side, broken up by Brugman. Great back checker. Danny Brugman, one of the best hockey players on the Winthrop squad. Now back into the zone, the Norwood end. It is controlled by Glazer on the left wing side. Gordon clears it up for Clark. Clark trying to get it in the zone, rolls it in, but right on the stick of Goddard. He clears it right back center ice, off the stick to Tape. He tries to put it in the zone, stopped by Glazer. Puts it in the left wing side, ahead for McTurnan, too far. 28 seconds left in the power play. Behind the net, McGee checked off the play. It is centered out in front. Here's Clark with a shot, blocked in front, and taken there by Tape. He'll clear it the length of the ice. The ice has just become awful here. There's absolutely just total ruts, and these kids can't really pick up any steam. Here comes Lowry, right wing side. First deep off the play, couldn't control the puck. Turns it out in front, cleared away by McGee. Into the corner again, right wing side. Lowry has it. In the circle, penalty is over. Teams are at full strength. Lowry back behind the net, comes to the left side. Still stick handling it. Holds the puck, checked off his stick, and iced the length of the ice by Danny Brugman. I don't think he knew the penalty was over. Now we're going to get a face-off back in the Winthrop zone. 2:47, icing waved off. As now it's touched. As Gordon just ran out of steam, he couldn't touch the puck. 2:45 left here in the second sudden death overtime. We're tied up at 3. has is now Bobby McDonald back out with his unit against Bob Dalton. Not too many goals have been scored against that McDonald line this year. Set to go here. It'll be Bob Dalton with Sullivan and Hassenfuss out there. Getting set for the face-off. On the drop now. Controlled by Dalton. Back to the left point. To Parkinson. Back behind the net. McGee swings it around, but intercepted by Sullivan. Left wing corner. Rolls it on the front. Blocked by McGee. But not out. Backhanded through screen. Hassenfuss out in front again. Cleared away by McGee, but not out. Dalton takes a little poke at it. Kicks it around in the circle. Now taken by Bob McDonald. He'll try and get it out of the zone. He does, but stopped at center ice now by Parkinson. He'll roll it back in on the drive. A save. Rebound cleared away by Crombie. Back behind and it swings it around the wing board. Hard check thrown there. Run at Parkin. Caught through a check at Crombie. No call. They're tied up in each other's skates. And they're just so slow to get up. They're so tired they couldn't even move. 2:11 left in this second sudden death overtime. We got a penalty coming up here by Greg Sullivan. That's the call. Greg Sullivan going off and Winthrop with a power play opportunity and another costly penalty. That might be charging. That is 5:19 of this second sudden death overtime period. And now a face-off to the right of Mike Gullo, Bobby McDonald with Jackie Burke and Joe McDonald. Here we go. Bobby McDonald on the face-off. Lost it to Parkinson. Parkinson clears it up and dumps it the length of the ice. It is McTiernan, Clark, Lane, and Parkinson, the penalty killers. Joe McDonald with it on the left wing. Tries to get it around. Clark does to Bob McDonald. Into the zone. Offside. Just by a hair. And you think the fans are going nuts. What about the two teams? It's just a very anxious moment for these youngsters. Now, face-off outside the blue line, breaks it in. Bob McDonald, right side, holds it, looks to get it up to the point, taken away by Clark, and he'll clear it out. Now going after Goddard in his own end, behind the net now, swinging it around, has the puck, 1:41 left in the sudden death again. Goddard, up ahead for Bob McDonald. McDonald avoids the check, skates it into the zone, top of the slot, right side, in the circle. Still stick handling. Holds it back to the right point to Brugman. Brugman back to Bob McDonald in the circle. Back into the corner. Jackie Burke back into it across the goal mouth. Couldn't handle it. McTiernan now behind his own net. 39 seconds left in the power play. Brugman has it right point. Back to Burke. Lost it on the stick. Parkinson controls. Can't get it out of the zone, but Clark skates it out. Lost it there and tripped up Joe McDonald. No call, but the puck dumped into the Winthrop end. 1:05 left here in the sudden death. 20 seconds left now on the power play. Here comes Goddard. Up at center ice. Has the puck. Across the line. Poked off the stick by McTiernan. Backing out of the zone.
As you know, the period ended 3-3. We pick up the fourth and final overtime, rather the third overtime.
Puck at center ice. Winthrop going from left to right this period. Now Bobby McDonald brings it into the zone. Has it right wing side. Rolls a weak bouncer in on Gully. Clears it away right wing corner. It's kicked around. Jackie Burke takes it out. Out in front. Cleared away by Parkinson. Up along the wing board. Taken now by McTiernan. Up to Clark. Back to McTiernan. Left wing side. Closes. Out in front. Rolls it right out in front. Clear over the crossbar. As Billy Clark couldn't come home with it. Now coming back the other way. It's Jackie Burke. He's got a breakaway. Down the front. Takes the shot. Score! And this place has exploded. overtime at 29 seconds of the third sudden death overtime. A tremendous goal that time. Jackie Burke, the ice is mobbed with Winthrop fans as both teams shake hands. A tremendous game. And Jackie Burke, for the first time, has put Winthrop in the lead and also win the game. And a tremendous effort for both goaltenders. Ray Diaz, 39 saves in all the game time. And for Mike Galla, who was outstanding here tonight.